same high standard of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you.
Third person who's giving me this today.
To hear Zeppelin for the first time.
Jason London is the top vote getter.
A worship at the feet of a wrestling god.
Any fireman carry takeovers here. Hello.
Missed the home run because of the throw-up. So,
and I've seen a bunch of them.
On Layfield will move on to round 2.
Now how do you like them apples?
40,000 players have stepped up.
You don't have 3 times that.
gets away from Goldberg.
Even if I argued them, they would be 50-50.
Officially in round number 2 is Marcus Buff Bagwell.
Touchdown.
Back over to Barry.
Series at that time, and they didn't even do it for all of the game.
It's a conversation about SMU's fall from grace.
Having something behind.
There's 2 guys standing there and zip.
As long as there's expertise.
Talk a little bit to me, Steamboat.
They send him out to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Future science officer for the Enterprise.
Fred Altman have moved on to round number 2 officially.
I'm gonna have a few words with him.
So good to see you.
I don't want to be a role model, but if I have to be.
Professional soccer teams.
Steven Tobolowsky barely ekes out a win.
St. Johnson at the buzzer.
Taylor.
His name was Herb Moak.
But it wasn't a million newspapers.
Big butt when he smiles.
We're the ones we saw in front of the castle.
I am Ted.
I don't understand what Wichita has to do with a snowstorm and shit.
The woman who played my mother in Amityville Part 2 is also left.
She's coming hard with that boy.
Dignified is the word often associated with Lenny.
And it was me that called your number.
This is so impactful.
Stay here while I go talk to him.
My daughter is too good for you.
It's just going to get out of control.
Jeremy London has a rebuttal.
My voice should be heard.
Because the way you're looking at me, we must be old friends.
That's terrific.
She was a politician.
But inwardly, you could have a different feeling.
Bruce Wayne. Alexander Knox.
To the left, Harvey! Hi, Kashmir.
Of the AFI Life Achievement Award.
The Gulf of Tonkin did not happen. For all intents and purposes, any historian will tell you that's what started the war.
And the human life on both sides. It was not respected on both sides. Every athlete, they would love this show. How do we get all of the academics, the athletes to watch? There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Have you ever had an affair with your roommate?
People don't know that Ray Lewis was on Dancing with the Stars. Being a Minnesota native, I'm almost betrayed Minnesota Vikings.
You didn't pack enough underwear.
while ago you made such a convincing case.
I was much taller.
Doing right, another in the heights.
And Loria and Mariel Hemingway both move on to round number 2.
Hi, I'm Potsy, and this is my good buddy Fonz. Hey.
Guess I'm the only one he didn't invite.
It's thicker than water and thicker than your blood. My money.
Adoption is a very important,
It's not so much about all of his music.
A very sick boy.
Completely made over ultimate.
When he was a young boy, he got a guitar.
He became a prisoner of his own fame.
The script is 450 pages long.
This is Michael.
The director of photography actually created the shot.
You heard, Leela. They are tired of your talk.
There's a flip side to that coin.
It's about the numbers.
Because I can control this sport with one move. DDT.
Tremendous comeback.
Your name is Flame. Don't dare play me cheap.
How precious gift of life is.
You have to be careful when you fall in love.
There are things that will come out in us.
I've had the greatest life out of everybody.
170 films. The American dream lives on in Minnesota.
Standardized tests. These are his grades.
Game this system.
This film needs to come back.
Bruce Davison and Mark Met is Jesse Ventura, who also moves to round number 2.
Got to keep my cool.
Paleontologist.
Grabs a chair, slams it across.
Hits me on such a gut level.
Throw in Donnie's ashes and they blow back in his face.
He learned from Muddy Waters.
Nanya said she voted for Peter. Okay, I appreciate that.
Gosh.
I'll kill anybody who does.
I don't give jobs, I hire men.
People's minds.
Things inside you matured.
It doesn't grow on trees, you know.
The body of the doll.
This is the world's greatest film.
The way it sets up the anticipation.
Jeff's loss of everything.
So Tretch, Don Most, and Tom Holland will all be moving to round number 2.
Morrison may be going. Morrison is going.
He is fouled by Hudson.
You know me, Gene. These are titanium steel.
Playing today for all of the retired players.
Come over the rail.
They send them overseas to free hostages.
I said, baby, There's that head-to-head matchup, and he clearly...
I'm the Intercontinental Champion!
Basketball could help me cope with that.
But now you're my hero in life.
Got to keep my cool.
Irish whip.
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
On the way down.
More old folks that want it fast than right now, too.
I may not agree. I may agree.
Complex things are even becoming even more complex.
3 men are going to be part of round 2 of this.
What you see is what you'll get from me.
Who are you?
I am Belki Bartokomuz.
This is Lucas.
Because it relates a lot to my childhood growing up.
Every object that we see and identify is impossible to forget.
And he was a difficult teacher.
Got to keep my
We take it one step at a time. That's
I'm trying to win this entire thing.
Just like in sports, I'm sure Jim would say the same thing. You don't play for individual awards.
Well, yeah, I'd love to be able to say I beat all these guys in the debate.
It's about the pride and the pride.
Prize is pretty darn good too. It's the pride. It's always about the pride.
I've come here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum, brother.
At the end of the day, it really is about winning.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm here to win it. It's in my DNA.
And I'm waiting to kick. Tonight.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm here to do my best.
Everybody has some pride.
Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. I plan on winning tonight.
She's in here doing mental push-ups.
You know, winning is really important. But you know what's even greater is inspiring. And bro, that's what you do with this show.
Well, you're in it to win it, or why be in it at all, right?
I'm about winning.
I think I'd be more interested in the prize.
It's about the prize.
Avi, I am here to go for the gusto.
Why not? Why are you keeping score if you don't want to win it? You know?
Though I'm not super competitive, I would like to win it.
We all want to win, right?
I'm here to win.
You know, I'll do the best I can and leave it up to the most.
Of course, I'd love to win.
I'm always in it to win it, Avi.
I'm definitely in it to win it.
I've already won because I'm sure I'm going to be enlightened by our other guests.
I hate losing. I want to go to Greece.
It's about the pride. You don't want to come in second. You want to be first.
Do you here to win the whole thing?
Oh, sure. Why not? Well, of course I am. I don't do nothing to lose.
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I want to go to Greece.
I have a newborn daughter, so I'm here to win it for her. Let's go.
Oh, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be on here if I wasn't going to win something.
Yes, I'm going to win it all, man.
Win it all, baby.
You know, send some kids to Greece.
So definitely.
If I'm lucky enough to win, I'll turn it back into the pool.
The money? Absolutely. I'm going for it.
Party people! That's right. I'm here. Nothing better than the top. Well, I'm going to give it 110%. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you know.
We don't go out with no losing mentality, man.
So I'm here to win.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here to win the whole thing, man. I don't get in the ring for losing, man. I'm like in the ring right now.
To do the best I can. Looking forward to it.
Use that to kind of opportunity to do those similar things.
Somebody's going to be a winner. It might be me.
And have to want to win this thing.
The Money always gets his man.
Dude, I'm going to win. I'm coming in first place.
I don't play. I just win.
You and me have some fun.
The sister of Mary Hartman. I can't think of the character's name.
Kathy Shumway, maybe?
Yeah, she was Kathy Shumway. Very
Shumway.
good. That's very impressive. You got a good workshop you're doing.
Sure
This
do,
is
man.
what's going on in your workshop.
Sweep the leg.
You're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5. 10 is no one's perfect, but honest to God, you're terrific. You do your homework, and I've done everybody. I've done in the 80s. I did Johnny Carson. I did Merv Griffin. I did it all. And you're very energetic and good. And you asked the right question.
Welcome, Bronson Pinchot, my friend.
Thank you. I commend you for that. That's some of the best.
Welcome to the celebrity tournament, my friend.
Thank you, Avi. I agree with all your previous guests. You give good intro.
If I see any smirking, this class is over.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Avi. That's yeah.
They sold the merchandise and merch.
They put their own sequels in the movie ahead
In the movie.
You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Abolish the political parties.
Last name Ventura, first name Jesse.
I'll tell you this, Avi, you definitely do your homework. Hey, like I said, the good thing about you're extremely prepared, much more prepared than most interviewers that I get.
That's me when he feels ready to leave.
Yeah, we'll buzz you, honey. Oh, where'd you get that book from?
Yeah, there we go.
Beautiful, but amazing. I tell you what, you did your homework.
Did you have fun here in the green room?
Anytime you want me back, I'm here, brother.
When it comes to doing the do, your father can do it to death.
John Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you. I'm prepared to take on this challenge of this wonderful monologue that you've written
and I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do after I read it again for maybe the third or fourth time. I wish that I'd had the time to commit it to memory because it deserves that. Giving me your thoughts and your input, because as I told you, that piece that you sent me is, I love good writing.
Last name Darso, first name Barry.
Holy cow, what an intro that was. I couldn't have said it better than myself. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Bill, welcome to the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. What an introduction. I'll tell you, it's amazing.
Ray Mercer, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure being here, man. It's an honor.
Ryan, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend. Man.
Whoa, dude. Yo, if I ever need to find somebody, just in general, I am calling you. That was incredible.
Mr. Spencer Haywood, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for that great introduction. This is awesome.
Welcome, DC Glenn, to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Yeah. This is how I feel about your introduction.
Rico!
Get it. Jerry Lucas, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Avi, so very much. I appreciate what you said.
Jeff Timmons, welcome, my friend.
Avi, thank you, man. That is quite the introduction. I can't say that I've done a ton of these things, as you know. I've never had an intro like that. Kudos to you, man. It's an honor to be with you. Thanks for having me. I totally appreciate it.
Welcome, Jacques Rougeau.
Very, very, very good. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I think you should write my own book like the intro. Would you do that again?
Tim Hardaway, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, man. That was great. I love the introduction. Yeah. You go with me anywhere and introduce me anywhere. I love that. I appreciate that. That was the best introduction I ever had in my life, my career.
I think that you've done a fabulous job, and I have not met an interviewer like you. You know, neither have I had some of these questions that really sort of went very deep into my heart.
Did you have a lot of fun today, Raven?
Yeah, I did. I really surprisingly did. I thought it was a really good time. It's about education and entertainment.
Again, did you have a nice time?
I did. I enjoyed it immensely, and it really got me thinking, and I really got a chance to meet a couple of fantastic guys.
Now, but my hats off to you. I could have stayed on for hours more. I love different topics. You know, you letting us speak and just reaching other things we never ever spoke about.
You had a good time, my friend?
Dude, absolutely. Oh my God, this was beyond expectations.
Yes,
I
sir.
love you. This is amazing.
Did you have fun, my friend?
I really did, Avi. Thank you. It was great.
Spencer, did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was great. I mean, your intro for me was just awesome, but also the intro to the show was like, wow, you have all of these people. The only two people I want to beat right now is Ray Barry and Eddie Johnson. Maybe I'm coming for you.
Really good discussion and the respect. You know, you're at the center of it all, and you really are terrific at this. I've never done anything remotely like this, and
I had a blast, man. This was absolutely phenomenal. So keep up the good work. I said I hope this takes off even bigger and better than it is right now with you.
Tim, overall, did you have a good time, my friend?
Man, this was incredible. This is different. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. You're so innovative. I love it, man, because it got me thinking. Man, this is beautiful. You're doing a great job. When you got a hangover, you can have some of these.
I've had a 32-year hangover watching the Knicks. Did you have a good time tonight, my friend?
You have something amazing going with the show but you're there and you're educating us. You're taking people from different eras, different disciplines. If you're taking us out of our comfort zone, you're making us fall in love with people that we didn't know.
No one will ever ad-lib like you. It is amazing, though, that everyone that comes on, they always say the same thing. How did you know all of that? That is just simply amazing.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. It was better than my bar mitzvah.
Share that bad dream again.
Did you find the technique itself helpful when it came to observing your scene partner staying present instead of strictly relying upon memory?
That's a great question, Avi.
Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person?
I really enjoyed this, man. You're a smart guy and you ask really good questions.
Ed Begley, welcome, my friend, to the green room again.
Thank you so much, Avi. Good to be back.
Joe, welcome, my friend.
I think I have whiplash, Avi. Thank you very much.
Jim Duggan, welcome, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
Don Most, welcome, my friend.
oh, thank you, Avi. What an introduction. That was very impressive.
The one and only Tretch.
Yo, that was dope.
I
You
appreciate
better
it.
than a lot of these rappers out there.
Tom Holland, welcome, my friend.
Avi, I stand in awe of your memory and your ability to rhyme, and it's just amazing.
What an incredible introduction, Avi. That is probably the best introduction I've probably ever had.
DiBiase, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Brother, I'm going to take you with me everywhere to get an introduction. That's the best introduction I've ever had in my life. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. And it's so positive.
Mark, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Tournament, my friend.
Think positive. Oh my gosh, Avi. Man, I feel like I just ran a marathon listening to that, man.
Come on. Welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Every day's a Friday and every night says Saturday Night Astyville. I am so happy to be on this show.
Christopher Martin, welcome, my friend.
Incredible. I hope you didn't mind that I filmed that intro you just did for me, because I'm going to play that on my low self-esteem days.
Jake Roberts, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Tournament, my friend.
Wow, that was scary.
Welcome, Brutus.
I love this. This is great. You got the intro down to a science, baby.
Peter Melman, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Bruce Davison, welcome to the tournament, my friend.
That was great, man. Where did you dig that all up? That's amazing.
Jesse Ventura, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Thank you, Avi. It's great to be here and great to be back interviewed by you. It's been far too long.
Never been out with a girl before.
You made me laugh, too. It was great.
I think Alf would be wisecracking while the alien would be tearing everybody up apart, I guess. Let's talk about some of the 80s horror classics. Last name Wilkins, first name Lenny. Lenny Wilkins, my friend, welcome.
Thank you, man.
And all of the actors and directors, different worlds come together. This is like a sanctuary for those people, because we don't always get to talk about the things that really truly move us. I love this show because it makes me feel.
Dally Kirkland, welcome to the green room.
How did you do that thing where you were talking so fast?
I don't know.
I very few people can do what you did. Well, the acting teacher here, 35 years, commends you on your ability to do that. I'm very impressed.
Because I've done podcasts in the past, and so what have you done, and what are you going to be doing later? This is fantastic. I mean, this gets your juices going. It gets you thinking. We had fun. It's fun, and it is educational. So
I had a good time.
It was intellectually stimulating, which is kind of a unique thing in this world of ours today.
Lou, did you have a good time, my friend?
Yes, I had a fabulous time. Thanks for having me on the show.
Bronson, I have to ask you the same question. Did you have a good time, my friend, tonight?
I did. It's so unusual to be engaged in what everybody else is saying and to want to listen, because it's happening real time and it's not a frozen dinner, as it were, being served.
I want to compliment you on giving me my best introduction I've ever had in my whole life, too. That's the first thing.
Thank you. Did you have fun tonight, my friend?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Looking for
being around people who are willing and open. I like that.
I did have a good time. It was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the opportunity. It was exhilarating. Like Barry, I didn't know what to expect. I enjoyed it.
You bring in people from different walks of life. It's good to be able to see that you bring people together that, you know what, maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show. And I want you to accept the accolades that you get from all of these brilliant people. They tell you that you're smart. They tell you that you're exposed. These are comments and compliments that you have to say, thank you very much, I accept.
My name is Sergeant Slaughter.
Wasn't sure what to expect. You're number one in my book as far as putting on a podcast, knowing what you know.
I just think it was really good company. You're terrific. I've never done something like this before, so it was fun.
No, you know what? You're a very interesting person. With all this rhyming stuff, you must really put a lot of effort into this. I would love to read or see something that you've written, because I'm sure it's really interesting.
Underrated and why? Sauerkraut, Henry Kissinger's deep soothing voice, or dogs wearing sweaters?
I like dogs wearing sweaters.
Your jack of all trades is teaching this craft as rewarding for you as performing it.
I think sometimes it's more rewarding. Where did you do your research? I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. You do a great job preparing.
A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
I hope you're getting paid a lot. That was the greatest intro I think I've ever had. The amount of stuff that you talked to me about that I don't even remember about myself, so impressive that I'm highly impressed. So I would give this a very high A.
Oh, I did. It was like a high school reunion.
Yeah, no, it's terrific and it's fun, and keep bringing diverse personalities together. I think that's great. And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other today.
Eric, how are you, my friend?
What's up, Vic? How you doing, man? I like that introduction. Golly, I didn't know that stuff about myself. This is, I think, my top. Because when you do the intro you gave me, I gotta give it to you. I like
you deserve it. Later on, you were able to get her cast on a series, and she received her SAG card. Is that right?
Oh, I love
you that you brought that up. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
What an honor to meet you. And
My
you're
pleasure.
great.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Courtney, did you have a lot of fun too as well?
Oh yeah. Thank God I had sports topic.
Did you guys have fun?
I had a blast. This is a great show.
What a blast.
I had a great time tonight. You keep rhyming, man. Entertaining. And like I said, it gave like a battle rap, spoken word.
Usually I'll do interviews and get asked the same questions about Stephen King. This was great to talk about things that matter, that go beyond projects.
Last name Johnson, first name Ed.
Wow! When I have a retirement party, even at my funeral, you better show up.
Papa Smurf has a hip hop artist.
Yo, yeah.
You're very talented. That's amazing.
Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time, if you'd like me to do that.
I don't know what I can do now.
First name Keith.
Oh my God, what a great introduction. Fantastic. You do your research. Connected with me right there. And he knows my brand. He nailed it. Now I know why. This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests. And great guests beget great guests.
It's fabulous.
I'm excited. I'm
good. How you feeling, John?
Terrific.
Guys and gals and pals, if you are a fan of fiery, unbridled passion, that intro says it all, as it can melt the South Pole. This place we call the Green Room is filled with edutainment, and it has plenty of heart and soul. Richard Donner, my mentor, director of Superman, Lethal Weapon, Goonies, and more, took me under his wing. There hasn't been a second in which I abandoned this craft ever since. Its purpose I shall always sing. It's time I listen to Stanislavski and take a beat as I process everything in real time. This is the 168th consecutive episode of the Green Room, a feeling that cannot be expressed through a mere rhyme. This craft, this art, this blank canvas that we fill with our souls are reminders that passion is eternal. This heart of mine on full display I provide unto you wholeheartedly. It guides me. It is as internal as it is external. With a bevy of views on 53-plus pages week in and week out, innovation is our name, and the sweat is the sweet. Dedication, labor, and innovation only arrive when your effort is absolute, so put that in a tweet. And in this celebrity tournament that has captivated the masses, the field is one of a kind. Luminaries from all walks of life gathering to compete for the pride and the prize. This is truly a sport of the mind. Sure, the numbers are fantastic, not including my own page, guys and gals, but what's even sweeter is the sweat. By that I mean good old-fashioned work ethic, wholehearted passion, effort, and consistency never lead to regret. The good bard Shakespeare himself said our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to. Those words ring so true. It means that you are the author of your story. Don't edit your vision due to others that secretly prefer to boo while attempting to obstruct your view. I dubbed what you see on Saturday nights as competitive camaraderie, and I call it edutainment, where we educate and entertain. With 13 grand and a trip for 2 to Greece and becoming the first champion of this star-studded field, a lot is on the line. But your audience, the engine that makes this thing go, are the sweet nectar that we appreciate like fine old wine. So sit back and enjoy this month, as round number 1 isn't quite done. Thought-provoking topics that covered all: history, sports, philosophy, but you know how we do, we always have fun. As strangers become friends and we all come together, let's remember that we are closer than one might surmise. Limitless visions of innovative bliss experienced by an ensemble is the vision behind these eyes. Never hate the flower for starting out as a seed. Long distance running is essential. This isn't a stampede, so don't run anyone over on your way to the top. Focus on yourself and never forget to cheerlead, root for your loved ones, and lift people up. This human fortune cookie hopes that we've all agreed that positivity is something that we concede. So with that, let's bring in our first participant right now, guys and gals. I see him in the back. I'm about to bring him in right now, guys and gals. Our very first participant tonight. The great Miles Davis said, "A painting is music you can see, and music is a painting you can hear." He also said, "Don't fear mistakes. There are none." Yours truly, Avi Klein, concurs. As I always tell my students, there are no mistakes, only discoveries. If we do not explore, we do not discover. Our second participant, guys and gals, will be coming soon, but our first participant, guys and gals, much like all three of them tonight, is class personified, and he's a man that is a champion in every sense of the word. but as a human being first and foremost. He grew up in Pasadena, California, and was born to parents Marshall and Jean. Believe it or not, he rooted for the Boston Celtics, the old white and green. His mother worked so very hard, working double shifts as a nurse. The struggle was widespread as he had to deal with a circumstance that was rather adverse, but through his sheer will and determination, he wouldn't allow it to get worse. As a toddler, he severely cut one of his knees, resulting in a wound that required about 100 stitches to close. A doctor told his family he would never be able to walk, but that isn't how the story goes. So take that, doctor. I'd like to punch you in the nose. But I digress. He not only proved the good doctor wrong, but being able to walk normally, but he excelled in many sports. As a matter of fact, football and baseball came first before the days of short shorts on the old basketball courts. It was his uncles who spotted and encouraged his athletic talent and encouraged him to play baseball. But he didn't like standing and letting someone throw a rock on his head. He had the wherewithal to not follow protocol. Thankfully, his uncles, John, George, and Tom, were there for him as he looked up and on in wonder, seeing the great John Havlicek thrive and excel. Thanks to their support, along with his grandmother, Ardesi Butler, he would soar and propel. He attended Pasadena High School, graduated in '74, and his coach, George Tarzine, said something so very concise. Use basketball before basketball uses you. That is some sage advice that I'm sure he pondered more than twice or thrice, as it proved to be precise, even when the pomp and circumstance and bright lights surrounded him in a West Coast paradise. He became obsessed with shutting down opponents, and his main focus was defense. His court awareness was second to none. Never was a defender so intense. After averaging 26 a game in Pasadena City College, it was off to New Mexico. He chose this school because his coach said, hey, I'll throw the ball up and let's see who can go. The 5 best would start under coach Norm Ellenberger, who recruited 8 JUCO All-Americans, and the crowd was ecstatic, borderline manic, as their opponents experienced something problematic. Trying to contain them proved to be traumatic, as their excellence on the court was cinematic. With Jimmy Allen, Mark Felix, and Marvin Johnson, otherwise known as Automatic. He was drafted by the Lakers in the 3rd round of the 1978 NBA draft. Pretty soon, management would be in awe, as they'd realize that this was a master of his craft. Coach McKinney made the best decision of his career, as this man won the last roster spot. For the next decade, he'd lock down the greatest of all time, like a knight defending Camelot. Check this out, guys. 9 times he was selected to all NBA defensive teams. Everyone would agree the man was the king. And if that wasn't enough, he would shoot the 3. Defensive Player of the Year in 1987, 5-time world champion in the decade of the 80s as the Lakers reached basketball heaven. As an all-star MVP in Italy, a WNBA Coach of the Year and award-winning, guys and gals, Coach of the Year in the WNBA titles, guys and gals, as he took his team to 2001 and 2002 championships. He supported his communities and donated countless of hours to charitable causes through and through. Yeah, he's a hero. Determination, dedication, desire, discipline, decision-making. These are the 5 Ds he shares with kids. The man truly is super. So put your hands together for an incredible, fun, positive human being. First name Michael, last name Cooper. Mr. Cooper, welcome, my friend.
I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, I listened to the things before the promos, and you are great. I mean, the only other person that has that kind of spontaneity and the gift of gab was the late, great Chick Hearn. And we thought Golden Throat was gone, but he's reincarnated in you. Thank you for having me. All right, Avi.
I'm very humbled by that. Thank you so much, man. Chick was such a great legend, and so are you. And before I put you in the back, my friend, and bring our next participant, I want to let everybody know that those 5 Ds, they resonate with me. Is that something that that came to you over a gradual period of time, Mr. Cooper?
Yes, sir. Something that I lived. You know, I had this concept mixed up. I was an athlete student going through. So with determination, dedication, desire, discipline, decision-making made me a good basketball player. But I hit that fork in the road when I became academically ineligible. And I had to use those for my academic awareness. And it helped me if I had not have made that change, I probably wouldn't be talking to you today.
Wow. That is very inspiring, my friend. Guys and gals, Mr. Michael Cooper is a legend off the court, a legend on the court, and a fast friend as well. Thank you for joining us, my friend. I'll bring you back momentarily. Mr. Cooper, guys and gals. He's going to be here, guys and gals. Remember, 13 grand on the line, trip or 2 to Greece, 5 days, 5 nights for whoever wins the entire tournament. Of course, round number 2 will start in a few months. So if you advance to move to round number 2, there's a few months. This is probably going to last about a year or so, but we're having a lot of fun, and we appreciate that. We also appreciate the numbers. We appreciate all of you guys and gals commenting. Guys, time for our second participant. Frederick Douglass said, man's greatness consists in his ability to do, and the proper application of his powers to things needed to be done. The second participant tonight epitomizes those very words. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, which is where he went to elementary and high school. His vast array of talents were plentiful, guys and gals, as he had many a tool. In 1968, he worked as a DJ in Jackson, Mississippi for WOKJ. This isn't where he would stay, as life's menu would soon serve him his entire entree, as his verbal prowess would soon be on full display, riding up and down that interstate highway, all the while authenticity's what he would portray. All one has to do is go to the archives and hit the instant replay. He DJ'd, guys and gals, in Birmingham, Alabama for WENN, where he interviewed a man that was a king in his field, sans the crown. I'm talking about Mr. Dynamite, godfather of soul, James Brown. Mr. Brown took a liking to him and started riding with him in limos along with James Brown's son, Teddy. His journey continued as he traversed because the ones that win the race place emphasis on the slow and steady. James Brown had a show called Future Shock, similar to Soul Train, and wanted to hire this legend as a musical director. But this wasn't his permanent calling, as his future was bright like a bee collecting sweet nectar. He was a fan of pro wrestling and went to see the matches, and one day happened to be at the right place, right time. He started hanging around Tommy Rich, never expecting to be working there full time, but he was still in his prime. Being in the locker room, all eyes were on him, so he started doing errands, and it wasn't about the moolah. A legend wanted to be shown around, so he did just that. I'm speaking of the butcher, first name Abdullah. Luis Manning gave him a job to put up the ring and take it down. He did it with love, never a frown, and would soon be riding town to town. One night, they needed a ref, so they was refereeing a match between Ron Bass and Black Bart. The man wore many hats, so that wasn't the start. The man was extremely smart, and soon we'd see his beautiful works of art. He was promoted to referee in NWA's Jim Crockett promotion in 1985. And as a manager in the late 80s, yet another element of his would wow the audiences as he continued to thrive. It didn't hurt that he started DJing in the car as Kevin Sullivan and Eddie Gilbert witnessed his gift. He transitioned smoothly and gradually, as it didn't happen rather swift. This man belongs to 3 Halls of Fame and was the longest reigning GM on the blue brand that is strong. And in the eyes of the fans, he could do no wrong. They love that catchy theme song. So welcome a WWE Hall of Fame talent and human being, the kind, intelligent, one and only Mr. Teddy Long. Mr. Long, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good, Avi. Listen, player, let me tell you, I've just been waiting on one of those introductions, and I was sitting there watching the opening of the show, and I kept seeing all these guys talk about, oh man, thank you, that was the greatest introduction we've ever had. And I'm sitting here, I'm saying to myself, please please, I'm waiting on him to introduce me. I want to see exactly what they mean, and they didn't lie. Okay, Avi, your mic skills are tremendous, player. I'm telling you right now. Thank you so very much for having me on your show, and man, all I can say is what an honor.
The honor is all mine, my friend. Thank you for the compliments, and thank you for what you do. Guys and gals and pals, Mr. Teddy Long does so much, again, much like Michael Cooper for the kids, always has a smile on his face, has a great, beautiful heart, an intelligent man, and I am so grateful he's here with us tonight live, guys and gals. So with that, our third participant is having tech problems. Michael Cooper and Teddy Long saw him backstage. He will sign in momentarily, so let's start things off with Mr. Michael Cooper and Teddy Long.
Okay.
All right. There we go, guys and gals. When the third participant comes in, I'll bring him in. But, guys, this is an amazing night because, again, I have to ask Teddy and Michael Cooper as well. It'd be nice to win the whole thing, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's always good to get it all, but, I'm not a greedy person, so I don't mind sharing.
I love that.
I don't want to share. I want to win it all. My competitive juices are flowing. Championships is what I'm about, and this is the king of the champions.
I love it, guys and gals. Remember, again, we're not being superficial when we say that we're proud that there is 67, as of tonight, Hall of Fame talents from wrestling and sports and music, along with Oscar, Grammy, Tony, AMA, Golden Globes winners, all here participating in this tournament. One will win this whole thing within a year. Let's see how it goes down. Guys and gals, again, thank you again to all the help we get backstage as well, and our sponsor, everybody who's here. We appreciate you. So, guys, topic number 1, it is going to be quotes that resonate across time, because certain words, they have transcended generations in the vast expanse of human wisdom. They impart timeless lessons that inspire and motivate and transform our lives. And exploring life, changing quotes from renowned authors, philosophers, experts that continue to resonate with profound wisdom, it liberates the soul. And when you delve into these powerful words, they uncover that profound impact. Quotes to me are like concise yet powerful art pieces. Although they are a lot easier to interpret than many abstract works, quotes resonate differently. Guys, think about this. Just one sentence can massively affect how a person sees their life. And he or he can see the world differently as well. So guys, remember, edutainment over here. We have a positive, good old time. We're letting the world know that with these numbers over here, yeah, we don't do controversy. We do conversation. That's okay. We keep you a smile on your face. We keep you entertained, and we educate as well. That's what we do. And guys and gals, you are looking at two of the smartest, most talented human beings before you, Teddy Long and Mr. Michael Cooper. So Michael Cooper, guys, will start things off for as long as he'd like. He will let us know which quote he has selected that always resonated with him and why. Are you ready to go, good sir?
Yes, sir.
Floor is yours.
Avi, as a young person growing up in Pasadena, my mother made me read a lot of books. And as I went through my life playing basketball one step at a time, at every level, you try to learn from your coaches. And a coach told me once, I think, therefore I can. And I had never really thought about that, but I put that into my philosophy as far as who I am as a person, growing up and trying to become the best person and the best athlete that I could. And come to find out, it's from a French philosopher, Rene Descartes. And he said, I think, therefore I am. And I really didn't know that was said. So now putting that into my own, I think, therefore I can. It implies that while other knowledge could be a figment of imagination, deception, or mistake, the very act of doubting one's own existence serve as a proof of the reality of one's own mind. There must be a thinking entity or self for there to be thought. And when you look at that, and I started applying that to who I am, people used to tell me I was so skinny, I'd never make it. The haters on the court and out in life, and I wouldn't be this, I wouldn't be that. I had visions of myself being a garbage collector. In the 60s, they used to hang on the side of the truck and they would get trash, jump off. And I enjoy getting dirty. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. But then going into a basketball player, I said, you know what, let me put that. I think I can be a basketball player with the dedication, the determination, the 5 Ds, and with a lot of help from my family. And obviously the Lord Jesus Christ plays an important part of my life. Therefore, I can. And it materialized. And now that I've achieved the heights that I've gotten, not as a basketball player, but as a man, as a person, as a father, as a son, doing things in the world to help kids, going out and speaking and letting them know that the sky's the limit. All you got to do is be ready to reach those heights. Therefore, I can has played a big part in my life. And it came from a French philosopher way, way, way before me. And it's that's the impact that words can make on definitely myself, but in our young generation today. And that's what I try to do, is get out there and constantly make a positive impact in our community.
Michael Cooper, guys and gals. And right now, we're going to turn over, before we turn over to Mr. Teddy Long. Guys, remember, the judges in the back who are voting, there are no losers. I know how that sounds, but there are none. They're all winners here. And the reason why is because we're learning from these gentlemen who are taking their time to do this. And let's appreciate that. And again, it's whoever resonated most with you. That's what it's all about. Who resonated most with you? Our 2 judges will be voting. Their votes are worth 3 in the back. And then, of course, you guys and gals can be voting in the comment section as well. Thank you again, Mr. Cooper. That was topic number 1, and it was extremely deep. Mr. Teddy Long will also let us know which quote he selected and why it resonated with him. Are you ready to go, good sir?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
3, in a 2, in a U.
Well, with which quote that, when I talk with you, we talked about several. So which one would you like for me to talk about?
I think if the one that really resonates the most with you, the one that really leaves an impact in your soul more than any other.
Well, we'd have to say player.
And can you take us through that? Can you explain why?
Oh, okay. All right.
The origins, what it means to you.
I got you. Okay. Well, you went away from me, sir. That's why I thought something was wrong. Okay. Well,
no problem.
I've got several quotes. One of them was player. And then I'll explain this to you too. And I think Michael will love to hear this too. It just, as I went on in my career, I could see how much God has blessed me. Because when I started using player, what happened there is I had this dog. It was a Labrador Retriever. And every time he would come around me and I was at home, I would just always tell him, come on, player, move out the way, player. And I just left it at that. So I went to TV when I got hired in WWE, and I went to TV there. I just took the player to TV and just started saying it, out of the blue. And the next thing I know, the people liked it and Vince McMahon liked it. And, that's just how you can just do something at home, just out of the blue, and all of a sudden it blows up right on TV. Like the dance that I started doing on TV. I got that from my grandson. We bought him a walker and we put him in this walker and we were trying to show him how to, how to walk. And every time he would get in that walker, all he would do was just jump, go up and down in it. So I just started dancing on TV, but I was doing it for him because we was taping SmackDown. So I'd do it on Tuesday night and then I'd get back home on Friday and I'd grab him. I said, look, I'm doing your dance, okay? And so one night I got ready to walk out, and as I was going out of the curtain, Vince McMahon, he stands up and he yells at me, he says, hey, do that dance, do that dance. I said, what dance? And he started doing it, and that's how the dance started. You with me, Avi?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
guys and gals and pals. Our third participant, Teddy and Michael, we both saw him in the back. We're not going to say who it is, but he's kind of popping in and out, so I'm helping him with his tech. But he's here and excited to compete as well. We had a great green room of the green room guys before the show started. A lot of great conversation. Teddy Long, guys and gals, and Mr. Cooper, again, giving us their heart and soul with this first topic, which means now we turn it over to our judges. They'll let us know who they vote for and why, and then you guys can start commenting right now and let us know as well. Let's bring in Mr. Joe Rositano first. Joe, let us know who you vote for in this particular topic and why, good sir.
So there were two of the most interesting views I have heard in regards to like these sayings that you have. I've loved it so far. And for the first one, I want to say I love that you said you think therefore I am, because when you apply to it and you manifest, you work it through and you make it a part of your life. That is what is in you. So it's no longer just this, oh, I'm saying it. You're now living it into existence. But then for player, you have it. Like, this is acknowledging that point. So for this one, I'm going to go with Teddy Long on this because of the fact that you push it, you press it into your life and you make it something that you can apply to other things. It's not just one singular moment. So for that, I give it to Teddy Long.
Thank you, Mr. Rositano. I appreciate your votes. Thank you so much. Guys and gals, again, this is proof positive that in 2023, we can have fun and educate and still have a really good time on a Saturday night. Mr. JW, my friend, who do you vote for in this particular topic and why, good sir?
Oh, well, they're both interesting stories, especially, like I appreciate the Teddy Long story about how, like you said, it was just funny that the one aspect that you were doing in your own personal life, just happened to spread out to catch other people's attention, like on TV and through your work. For Michael Cooper, I appreciate the aspect of it because, like you said, like there was a point where you were thinking about, doing sanitation, and it's just like the quote, inspired you to pursue more, to think more, to be more. So for that, for the true definition of the quote, I would have to go with Michael Cooper on this one.
JW votes for Mr. Cooper. Thank you so much for your time and also listening as well. Guys and gals, we're going to count your votes right now and see where we stand after topic number one. We're moving right along. We got a couple more topics. Wealth Garden Entertainment. Thank you for joining us. Cooper votes for Mr. Cooper. Thank you so much. And guys, Wealth Garden is an amazing partner as well. We appreciate working with them. We are on many platforms right now, guys and gals and pals. And once again, thank you for all the subscribers who are watching on YouTube as well. Q Cuts Brown votes for Cooper. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Another vote for Mr. Cooper. We have more votes coming down the pike here, all live. All right. Lou Ferrigno, bodybuilding extraordinaire, was on last week. And I told him going through all these comments is great. I get to work out the index finger here. Really good. My vote, Ken Maroney says, is for Michael Cooper. Appreciate that. All these comments, I'm not going to be able to read all of them or log them all, but I'll do my very best to do so, guys and gals and pals. Alex Chumbley votes Mr. Cooper. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. More votes coming down the pike. And again, guys, let's thank Teddy and Michael for giving us their heart and their mind here on a Saturday night. Kyle Wegner says, Teddy, I loved your dance. Thank you, Kyle Wegner, for that comment. Appreciate that. All right. We have more comments, guys and gals, and also votes as I'm trying to get all of them here. Michael Elkins votes for Mr. Cooper. Gus Anselmo votes for Teddy. Incredible showings. And Julie Hall concurs and also votes for Mr. Teddy Long. Christopher, wow, such a tough decision, he says, but my vote has to go to Michael. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not voting. I got the easy job tonight. Brian Burr says, Michael Cooper has my vote right now. That was very insightful and real. Thank you for being here tonight. An amazing person. Thank you, Brian. We love the positivity with our audience, guys. Thank you so much. Ramon says, I got to go for Mr. Cooper. Then go for him. Is that a vote? I guess it's a vote. Yes. All right. Tracy Mitchell says Teddy, but Randy says Michael. And Giselle, thank you for tallying in the back. We appreciate you tallying. Julie votes for Mr. Teddy Long. Thank you so much. And Jeff votes for Michael Cooper. Incredible. Another vote for Johnny McKinney. He votes for Mr. Cooper. And then Mindy concurs and also votes for Mr. Cooper. We've seen a lot of great comebacks, guys and gals and pals, in this tournament, as you've noticed. God almighty. Frankie Storm is voting for Michael. Chad voting for Teddy. The great Rick Barry was down one of the rounds. He came back and won. Let's see how this goes. Luis votes Michael Cooper, but very, very close. Dakota says he votes for Teddy Long this round. Great job. There's a comment from Mr. Spencer Haywood, which I'll read in a moment as well, to Mr. Michael Cooper. I love this. Jeff Reeder Jr. says, I'm going with Teddy. His story was great. Guys, I'm going to count this thing down right now because... Is there another one? Phil Donahue, Mr. Cooper all the way. Thank you, Phil, for voting. We appreciate that. And Holly votes for Mr. Teddy Long. Incredible. Guys and gals, that's what this is. Living room conversation style. We all learn from one another. And it'd be great to win this tournament because representing such topics and, again, such humanity is what it's all about. Michael and Teddy, guys and gals, again, are giving us everything they have. Ed says Teddy has my vote. And then Joey Bag of Donuts votes Mr. Cooper. All right, thank you. You said I vote Michael. I got it. All right, guys and gals, Wayne Chatelaine votes for Teddy. And I'm going to count this thing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6. You know there's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1, and then there's a 0. So with that, guys and gals, after topic number 1, tallying this thing up, we have Michael Cooper at 19, Teddy Long at 13. Very close, very close, very close indeed. Topic number 2, moving right on to topic number 2. Guys and gals, I call this history. I have a question. Time, I think, is a human illusion. I think time's the center of our universe. We all experience time differently. I think to study history is to study and change history because it gives us the tools to analyze and explain problems in the past. It positions us to see patterns that might otherwise be invisible in the present. Thus, it provides a crucial perspective for understanding current and future problems. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Once upon a time, there was a little kid named Aaron. He asked questions about practically everything to his parents. Why is the sky blue? Why is Dad bigger and stronger than me? How does a clock work? Believe me, his parents tried their best to answer his questions, but over time, they kind of grew tired of it. They stopped listening. They said, stop asking stupid questions. School will teach you that in 8th grade. And why would you expect me to know that? So he shut up. And whenever a question tried to come out of his mouth, he slapped himself twice and kept doing what he'd been doing beforehand. You're going to know that sooner or later anyway. There's no use in asking now. He told himself that for decades. He told himself that asking questions was stupid, pointless, and a child's way of getting to know things. His questions eventually did get answers many, many years later. But by then, he had long since forgotten the passion and the curiosity which he had when he asked those questions as an innocent child. So why is asking questions important? Because they give us the incentive to learn. They prompt others to give us answers. They prompt us to explore the world and find answers. They often make us discover new and innovative things. And they drive us to keep on obtaining knowledge about a topic and become an expert in that topic. Because one question leads to another. And soon you will have accumulated tons and tons of knowledge. If no one ever asked questions like Aaron did, we'd still be questioning why. So guys and gals, in this topic, Teddy Long, if you could ask a historical figure one question, and one question only, who would that historical figure be? What question would you ask, and why would you ask it, good sir? Are you ready to go, my friend?
Yes, I am. I'm ready to go. And, I really thought about this. And I think if I had to ask, some historical person, and that person would be Dr. King, Martin Luther King. And and what I would want to ask him, back in that time, I'm sure that he knew that with the work and stuff that he was doing, he knew that he could be killed, or anybody in his family could be killed at any time. But he didn't let that stop him. He continued to fight and do whatever he had to do to try to, to make things better. So I would just like to know, how do you do that? How do you just sit down and make up your mind, that, hey, I know I could die, or my wife or my kids, they could die, and so how do you separate that from, from what you're trying to do, and so I would just like to talk to him and just see how was he able to cope with what he had to go through each and every day, and how did he make that decision to that decide to continue to do his work, even though it would have maybe caused a lot of harm to him or his family.
Thank you, Teddy, for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys and gals and pals, we're talking about 55 and a half years ago. Yeah, April 68, when that happened.
And if I could, I want to mention this, Avi. And I want to say this. A lot of people, a lot of people try to base this on, well, it was just for the blacks. No, it was not, because if you go back to the March on Washington, there were a lot of white people in that march. So I'm just saying, this ain't about black or white. I think it's America. America has the problem now. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the world.
And you're 100% right. When I think I'd mentioned this when I had taught, I'd mentioned how I was actually writing Frederick Douglass's name on the blackboard, as I mentioned to you. And I won't say who it was, but someone who was a fellow colleague of mine walked in and said, "Hey, Avi, you misspelled Douglass's last name. There aren't two S's there." That's when I knew that the education system was in trouble. That's when I knew a man like that who didn't just champion the causes of African Americans, but women as well, leaders that have been buried in history, that need to be spoken about much more. And I'm glad you gave Mr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a voice tonight. And thank you again, because guys, with Michael Cooper and Teddy Long, what they're bringing us is also life experience. And that's something we could all learn from, because history is no mystery unless we bury it. So let's not bury it. Guys and gals and pals, Michael Cooper, the aforementioned Michael Cooper, will also let us know if you could ask a historical figure one question, and one question only, who would that figure be? What question would he ask and why? Mr. Cooper, are you ready to go, good sir?
Yes, I kind of grappled with this one a little bit. I mean, there's so many people that I would like to ask a question. I thought about Miles Davis, but I ended up going with Muhammad Ali. And the reason for that is not for sports or anything like that. It was for somebody at the apex of his game, at the top of his career, at the prime of his life, to give up his sport and go with his beliefs. And, he went to jail. Muhammad Ali went to jail. And for me, that was significant because, being a young man growing up and watching, just to name a few, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jim Brown, when they were having those meetings during the civil rights, and these athletes took a step forward. And unfortunately for Muhammad, he had to give up his career, his lifeline, to go to prison for something he truly, truly believed in. And I think you have to give him big time kudos for that, because I think about myself. Could I have done that? Would I have done that? And in today's world, probably with, the way the struggles are, I probably wouldn't have. But you know what? You got to give him his for standing firm on his beliefs. And that makes me reassure myself that if there was something I truly believe in, yes, I'd give it up to.
Wow. So passionate and well said. Thank you so much, Mr. Cooper. God, what a civil rights movement that was. Jackie Robinson, Wilma Rudolph, Bill Russell, high-profile athletes all coming together for something so very important. And this was during a time, guys and gals, where we lacked leadership. We know that in 68, LBJ at the last minute pulled out and didn't want to run again. He did not want to run. And, of course, Richard Nixon, people say that was the greatest comeback in the world. A man who was anti-communism was now running on a different ticket all of a sudden 8 years later. I mean, gosh almighty, even Eisenhower wasn't a fan of Richard Nixon, and that was his vice president. Times were changing. And so for those who complain about the athletes speaking up, you can't have it both ways. You're going to complain that they count their money and aren't saying anything or making a difference, but then when they do, you got a problem with that also? Athletes are taxpayers. They have a right to express themselves and use their platform to educate for something that matters. Thank you, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Long, because that topic matters, and so do you guys. Guys and gals, again, Mr. Cooper, I want to bring this up to you because I found this to be really fascinating. So initially you were a Celtics fan and you were a fan of Havlicek growing up.
Yes, my uncle was a big Boston fan, and he loved the Celtics at that time with Sam Jones and Bill Russell on that team. And he loved the way the team aspect developed with the Celtics. Everybody moving the ball, passing it around. So he used to put us in front of our little black and white TV and, hey, Michael, you got to watch this is how basketball is played. So grew up and I was liking John Havlicek on the team, and that's kind of who I patterned my game after.
Oh, man, I think that's incredible. And then, of course, moving a bit further, I like the fact that in high school, of course, and guys, Mr. Michael Cooper, even in JUCO college, 26 points a game. This man could light it up. But then you're in the Lakers locker room, and you're like, well, they got Kareem, they got Magic, they got Wilkes, they got Nixon, they got all these great guys. Mr. Cooper did what he did, obviously, his entire life. He locked down the greatest players of all time, and I think that's something that we can never forget. Guys, how many all defensive teams? We're talking about almost these many fingers in these many hands. It's incredible to think that. And then I also want to bring this up as well because I found this to be interesting. In college, you had a team filled with JUCO players, and your team was loaded in New Mexico. Loaded.
Yeah, Coach Ellenberger went out and got 8, 9 JUCO All-Americans, and he brought us together. And it was going to be hard because we only had 2 years to kind of like put it together, whereas some teams get a lot of young freshmen, and you got 3, 4 years to develop that. But for us, it was 2, and luckily everybody had the bought-in process of team. Team means together, everyone achieves more. And us thinking that way, we were able to go from a bottom last team to in 1979, we finished a 27-4 that year. And but we won't talk about what happened after that because it's another story.
I like the slogan, "Make it happen" was the slogan in New Mexico. Make it happen.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and then look at Jimmy Allen, Mark Felix, Marvin Automatic Johnson. This team was loaded. And guys, let's not forget, out in Italy, Mr. Michael Cooper as well did his thing, man. Mr. All-Star Game MVP. You had such a marvelous career. And I love how, once again, guys and gals, moving over to the coaching ranks, one of the most decorated WNBA coaches of all time as well is sitting before us. Mr. Teddy Long, I found this to be a little bit interesting. I talked about this in the intro. So if you would indulge me for a moment, James Brown, he had a show called Future Shock, wanted to hire you as a musical director. Is that right?
Yes. Well, here's how that went. I was in my earlier days, I was a disc jockey on a radio station.
Right.
Well, that's how I happened to meet James Brown, by me working in radio. So James liked my stuff, and I went to Jackson, Mississippi, and I started working on a radio station there at WOKJ. And James Brown came to town there, and when James came to town, he remembered me from the station in Birmingham, Alabama. Well, that was the first, after then he met me, offered me a job. He had a bunch of radio stations that he had owned, and he had one in Augusta, Georgia, and he offered me a job there in Augusta. Well, I didn't take that job because I was under deal with the WOKJ. But anyway, to make a long story short, is after I got out of radio and I got in the street and got into the drug life and doing everything negative. And so and I'm willing to share this. People, you're looking at a reformed heroin addict. When I was a young man, I was a heroin addict. And I overcame all that. I didn't do no rehab. I didn't do nothing. All I did was ask God to help me and to help myself. Because you got to realize this, whatever you put in your body, it don't get in there unless you put it in there. So it's just that simple. So stop making excuses talking about, well, somebody gave you something. Well, if they gave you a gun and told you to blow your head off, would you do that? So I'm just saying, I just happen, God has blessed me and I'm just able to talk about it. So after I got off of drugs, got out of jail and stuff, I run into James Brown again. He had a TV show in Atlanta here called Future Shock, and I went down to talk to him, and that's how I got the job as selecting the music for the dance show. And that's how I got in wrestling because they were taping the NWA wrestling in the same studio.
Right.
So that way, when I wasn't going down doing James Brown work, I'd go down and watch wrestling because I could get in free. And
Sure.
that's how I got into wrestling.
What a great story that is.
You do have a great voice, Teddy. I got to give you that.
100%. 100%.
Well, I'll tell you this, the first night I walked out and I cut a promo on Vince's TV. I come back through the curtain and Vince McMahon was standing up and he looked at me and he said to me, I can't believe I've had you here right under my nose all this time.
Wow.
Because you were refereeing at that point for Vince. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
But there were
incredible.
people that could have told him what I could do, but a lot of them didn't because they didn't want me to go any further. But
Sure.
there was Sergeant Slaughter, there was Michael Hayes, and Earl Hebner. Those were the 3 people that told Vince McMahon what I could do for his talk and be a manager, and they're the ones that got Vince to bring me and hire me.
I'm so glad they did because you've entertained and still do, not past tense, present tense, so many people. Man, guys and gals, when you're listening to Michael Cooper as well and what he had to overcome, what Mr. Long had to overcome, all these naysayers saying you can't, you can't, you can't. Maybe the best way to predict the future is to create it. These 2 men created their future. And with that, let's bring in our great judges. Let's rotate it out. Mr. JW, in this particular topic, who resonated most with you and why? Good, sir.
Yeah, and gentlemen, thank you for sharing your stories with us. We greatly appreciate it. And regarding the Ali thing, it's crazy because both picks that you guys both picked, can both win for the same reasons. you know, because both men were dealing with the exact same things around the same time. You know, for Ali, it was the struggle of knowing that the longer I hold on to my beliefs, you know, every day I'm going without a paycheck, I'm going without doing the thing that I love to do. But it was different for Dr. King because for him, it wasn't, hey, the longer I hold on to my beliefs, you know, the longer my family's going to go without money or food. It was like, the more I hold on to my beliefs, today might be the last day I have these beliefs. And it's, you know, it's because of that. I gotta go with Teddy on this one and go with Dr. King.
Thank you, JW. Again, appreciate that. Guys and gals and pals, our judges are amazing. JW, Mr. Joe Rositano, who you're voting for in this topic and why, good sir?
In this case, I'm actually going to go for Michael Cooper on this one, because with those beliefs standing firm, I like that you want to ask that and are genuinely open to understanding someone and their position, because to understand someone, especially when they make a decision that's hard for them, that they know specifically is going to end in consequences that have long-term problems, that's a big deal, and how that applies to their life and moving forward. So to be able to wonder how that fits in with Ali and what it took to make that decision to go forward is a big deal to me. So I vote for you, Michael Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Joe Rositano. And you're right. Not one single thing, not one, has been accomplished without intention. Always have to have intent. You're right about that. Mr. Joe Rositano, thank you again for your votes as well. Guys, we're going to turn over to you right now, and then we have our final topic. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We have Giselle voting for Teddy Long on this second topic. Thank you so much for your vote. Julie Hall, this is a tough one. Loved both their reasons, but my slim margin, I vote for Mr. Michael Cooper. Thank you so much. Alexander, Michael Cooper on this one. Guys and gals, remember, we're still on next weekend. 168 consecutive episodes without fail. On average, 3 luminaries every Saturday night here before you, all different for this last year, competing for the pride and the prize of this amazing celebrity tournament. One of the biggest directors, one of the hugest film TV stars coming up on the 30th, and next weekend, another 3 incredible legends will be here live before us. Ed Hauser says, Teddy has my vote. Okay. Jeff Reeder Jr., got to vote Teddy. Appreciate that. Darrow Johnson says, I'm with Teddy Long all the way. Thank you, Darryl. We appreciate that. Guys and gals, I mentioned this all the time. I was not allowed to teach about the Buffalo Soldiers, but one man who inspired me, former NBA legend, one of the greatest Hall of Famers of all time, will be in this tournament. And yes, guys and gals, he will speak about the Buffalo Soldiers. He's very, very knowledgeable about that topic. Michael says he votes for Teddy, so thank you for your vote, Michael. And Mindy concurs, and also, no, Mindy votes for Teddy. Okay, let me pull this up, Mindy. Votes are coming here hot and heavy. I vote Teddy this round. And Mrs. Brown votes for Teddy. Bob Cook votes for Teddy as well. Thank you, Bob Cook. One of the greatest right hands in the business. Thank you, Mr. Cook, for voting. We appreciate that as well. More votes, more votes. Dakota says my vote goes to Teddy. Thank you for that amazing story. I'm from Birmingham as well. The city will try to eat you. That's what Dakota Benson says. All right there. Lucas Scott says Teddy all the way. And Lewis votes for Teddy. Wayne Chatelaine Sr. votes for Teddy as well. Thank you so much. Guys and gals, our third participant is popping in and out here, so we're doing our best. Wealth Garden Entertainment says Teddy definitely took that one. Thank you so much for your vote. Ken Mulroney, I'm going with Michael. Sports figures influence more people on a larger scale, which in turn can make them see how important people like Dr. King and his cause can be. Well written. You guys and gals commenting, you're amazing. We have the greatest viewers. Thank you so much. Caitlin Rodriguez, I vote Teddy. Mr. Howard Collado says, I vote for Teddy Long. I also appreciate his experience, strength, and hope. Thank you for those beautiful words. Caitlin says, I go with, let me pull it up over here. I go with Teddy. Okay. Go vote for Mr. Teddy Long. Brian says, Teddy Long gets my vote right now. Seriously, the feeling you put behind what you said was palpable. Thank you for putting your all out there for the sport. You are an inspiration. Thank you, guys and gals. Chad says he votes for Teddy as well. And guys, remember, Michael Cooper and Teddy Long have a lot going on. We're going to talk about that pretty soon as well. These are men that are active, and they are doing so many different things and wearing so many hats. Robert Taft Kennedy says he votes for Teddy. And Victor says, I vote for Michael. I agree. Frankie Storm votes for Teddy. Julie votes for Michael. Appreciate that. Tracy says, JW, let's go. She's voting for the judge. All right. All right, guys and gals, we're going to count this thing down right here. Gus says, once again, Teddy brought the points of familiarity for me. My vote, therefore, is for Teddy. Thank you. Ramon, I don't have your vote. It's going to be a close one for sure. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We know there's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and then a 0, guys and gals and pals. So after topic number 2, it is 3627, Mr. Teddy Long, guys and gals. Our third topic is before us right now. All right, guys, it's our third topic, thought-provoking. This is the only time where these amazing luminaries and legends have a different question for their thought-provoking question. We're going to start off, guys and gals and pals, with Mr. Teddy Long on this one. And really, it's about how well you know yourself, besides your favorite food, besides your music. It's good to know these basic preferences you have, but what about everything else? What about going underneath the surface instead of scratching it? Guys and gals, thought-provoking questions can help us. You can go deep. You could learn about yourself. You can learn about the universe. And remember something, instead of reaching for the stars, you're the universe all along. There's no need to reach for anything else because you guys and gals are the center of your own universe if you accept that. So with that, Mr. Teddy Long's question is, do you believe that you're responsible for your own happiness, Mr. Teddy Long? And you can go as long as you want. My good friend, again, Teddy Long's question, guys and gals, is, do you believe, Teddy, that you're responsible for your own happiness? Are you ready to go, good sir?
Yes, I'm ready. And to answer that, I would say yes. Because not only am I responsible for my own happiness, I'm responsible for my own well-being. I'm responsible for my life. When I wake up every morning, I am in charge. It is up to me whether I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. So I don't let anything get in my way and encourage me to be a mean person that day or to be evil to somebody. And I make it my business when I wake up every morning till I get in my book of Psalms. And that's something I've been doing. If my wife was here, she's passed now, she will let you know. I read the Psalm, the word of God, before I make any move, before I leave out of my house, go anywhere. I read that book every morning because I feel like if I don't read that I have a bad day. You know, I think I need to start off and put some God in my life so I can be happy. And as long as God's in my life each and every day, I'm happy. So I'm responsible for my own happiness. And to make that claim, look what God has done for me, man. I came from nothing, drugs, alcohol. I put everything in my body you could do, A to Z, and I'm still alive. So that has told me one thing, that God has something for me. If he's keeping me alive, then there's a purpose here on earth. So I have to realize, hey, you got to quit being stupid, man. God is letting you know I'm keeping you alive for something. Now, if you want this, you better straighten up so you can get it. So I understand. I found myself. I know what time it is. So I want whatever God has for me, and I'm going to do whatever I can to accept it. And that's how I'm going to be happy each and every day of my life.
I love that so much. Don't try to be something for the world. Try to be something for you and those you love. Man, that's beautiful, Mr. Long. Thank you so much. Guys and gals, again, please, we love the love that you're giving Mr. Cooper and Mr. Long, two gentlemen, two dignitaries, two luminaries, and two incredible human beings that really do a lot for people around them. They are tireless, and they have beautiful hearts, and we're seeing that on full display tonight as well. Mr. Michael Cooper, your question is, have you ever accomplished a goal only to find out it wasn't fulfilling for you? Excuse me, that was our other Michael, who's not here. Mr. Michael Cooper's question is, when was the last time you encountered a frustrating situation? And what did you do to make it better? Are you ready to go, good sir?
Yes. I'm going to put this out there. My brother was murdered November 18th, and we just buried him this past Friday. And as I watch a lot of these shows on TV, First 48, all the murder things, and you see people that say, I forgive that individual, and they happen to catch this young man. I forgive that individual. And I would say to myself sitting there, I couldn't do that. But now faced with that adversity in my life, I have forgiven that young man because anger, animosity, all that negative energy that's inside of me, I have let that go, and I feel really good about myself. So when I come up against or face different type of things, forgiveness is it. And I agree with Teddy. You know, the first thing in the morning, I'm on my knees. I say my prayers. I thank the Lord for letting me wake up, open my eyes for one more day, because I know that that day is going to be good, because I'm going to put into me the best that I can be, so that when I do come up in an adverse situation or something happens, I'm able to confront it with sound mind, with the pure spirit heart, and the best of my physical ability that I can. So there have been situations, that's probably the biggest adverse situation I ever had to faced with, yes, I faced death before, but for my brother, nobody in my family's ever been murdered. And that was shocking to me. I happened to be on the road when that happened. So for me, I just put all my hopes and my prayers and my thoughts in the Lord, and let the Lord work through me. So when I do go out, or so when people see me, you know, they can see that happy side of me, and it's in a situation where I can handle it to the best of my ability.
My deepest condolences, Mr. Cooper, for your loss. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you know, I have to bring this up because it's quite amazing that I know that your mom, Jean, struggled to survive. She worked double shifts as a nurse. And then your grandmother, Ardesi Butler, was there for you. And then your uncles were there for you. So there were a lot of people in your life that played a certain role that really helped inspire you and kind of move you along in life. I found that to be really cool because now as you pay it forward to kids, once again, the 5 Ds come in. I want to talk about the 5 Ds because guys and gals and pals, Michael Cooper has the 5 Ds that really inspire me. And when I read them, I asked Michael before the show about the 5 Ds. We're talking determination, dedication, desire, discipline, decision-making. We talked briefly about it before the segment started as well. You share this with kids a lot in schools, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, I do. But you know, Avi, you say something that my life is no more different than Teddy's or anybody else's. It's just the journey that we take and the hurdles that we have to overcome. But those 5 Ds really helped me. And I started teaching that in my basketball camps in the 80s. The determination to be a great player, dedication, desire, to be the best athlete that I could. But the uniqueness and the fun part about those 5 Ds, I can apply them to my everyday life, my religious life, my life about being married, my life about being a father, my life about being a so-called role model. And you just try to help young people out there to not make the mistakes that you made as you were coming on. You know, one thing that I really work hard at is trying to help some of the at-risk kids that are in our community. And I work at a high school, work at Culver City High School, and helping some of those young men that are going through there. And you know what, as an adult, and we have that vision, they don't, because at that time it's every moment for them. For us, we've experienced that. So the 5 Ds give me an opportunity to reach out to those kids, to help them so that they don't have to flip over that hurdle that I flipped over. And that's what, for me, that's what it's all about.
Is it for Teddy and for Michael, is it as fulfilling to be able to pay it forward and help out the kids as much as it is to thrive and excel in the ring or on the court?
Yeah, but I'll go first. Yeah, it's great to be able to help out the kids, man. And you know, sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't know it, but sometimes I get a tear with some of them. You know, to me, from what I've came from, and for somebody to come up and want my picture and want an autograph from me, and I go back in time to think, it's amazing. God is just wonderful. So I just love helping kids, and whatever I can do to make them happy, then that's what I'm willing to do. So right now I'm just having a ball. I do a lot of signings. I get a chance to meet a lot of the fans, and I enjoy that more than I do really working full time. So, you know, it's like I'm just saying, man, God is good, man.
God is good. Absolutely.
And I agree with Teddy on that. Yeah. Is that going out, and again, the mistakes that we made, we can kind of curb some of those. I didn't have a father figure. My dad left my mom when I was young. And growing up, and so it was my uncles, it was my basketball coach or your wrestling coach or somebody like that, or that next door neighbor that really cared about you, that person that would kind of like set you on the right track. And you know, the kids today, and I remember this, and Teddy, this story probably hits home with you too. If we got in trouble at school growing up, Mrs. Smith next door down the street chastised us. Mr. Taylor across the street chastised. So you got reprimanded 4 or 5 times before you got home, and then you got the real reprimand at home. So that's what I try to reach back and give to our kids. Go ahead, Teddy. I'm sorry.
You can quit trying to use that nice word reprimand. You know what happened when Mrs. Jones came down there, gave us a good butt whooping. Then she took us to home and let them know, I already done whooped him, but y'all need to whoop him again.
again. Oh man. Oh, guys and gals. You know, I love what Teddy also said earlier today about being able to take accountability, because character is self-imposed discipline for the sake of moral convictions. It means if a person of high character doesn't want to be policed, they'll police themselves. A person of high character locks themselves up in the prison of their own convictions And there are too many people right now that are looking for some sort of reward system based on metrics and numbers and views and things that are superficial. So, guys, if you do anything on this very program, please listen to these men who are imparting knowledge and advice and helping pay it forward. That's what it's all about. And with that, I'll zip the old lip and bring in Mr. Joe Rositano to see who he votes for in this final topic and why. Good sir.
So for this one, I'm going to vote for Teddy Long because your happiness is determined by yourself. One of my favorite lyrics from a song from Free Will by Rush is, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That applies to everything that you do. You can hope that others will make joy for you or something to happen in your life if you direct yourself on the right path, but only you can actually set that straight for you. That's your decision, and you're the one that makes that happen. So my vote goes to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Joe Rositano, thank you again. The judge has been amazing as well. Mr. JW, my friend, who do you vote for and why? Good sir.
Yeah, this was really tough. And honestly, I say to everybody in the green room, everybody watching, do whatever you have to do to make sure both of these gentlemen move on to the next round, because this is like one of the hardest decisions. I wish I could give them both, because you said mine is worth 3 points. I need to give them both 1.5 points each, because it's like I said, it was just a an honor just to hear the stories from both of you and to listen tonight. But unfortunately, as a judge, I have to pick one person, and I would in the end I would have to go with Teddy too, only because it's just the story of knowing that yes, we are responsible for our own happiness. Because in the world today, whether it's like friendships, relationships, marriages, whatever it may be, a lot of times you see people blaming other people for why they're not happy, and people just like, oh, like I left this person because they didn't make me happy. And ultimately we're responsible for our own happiness. The people that come into our lives, they're there to support us and to be with us on our journey, but we need to we're responsible for ourselves and the journey that we take. So that definitely, both of your answers definitely resonated with me, but I do have to give like the slight edge photo finish to Teddy Long on this one.
Appreciate that, Mr. JW. Thank you so much, guys and gals. Again, we're going to tally all your votes right now. This is a close one. Of course, we have all gained a lot by listening to these two gentlemen give us their hearts and souls and their minds on full display and doing it live as well. All right, guys and gals, more votes coming down the pike. Now you guys can start voting, and I will bring them up. We have two straight from Mr. Cooper. Is this Q Cuts Brown and Phil? Let me bring this up here. The 5Ds are inspiring, Mindy. You're absolutely right about that. Great stories galore. Yes, guys and gals. More and more comments and votes coming here right now. Let's see what we got. All right. I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Cooper from Mindy Red. Thank you for the beautiful words. Okay, guys and gals, we have another vote for Mr. Cooper. Is that from Ken Mulroney? Okay, trying to bring these all up here so we can see these votes here before us. All right. We have more votes now coming down the pike from all of you here on StreamYard. Okay, Mr. Cooper gets my vote from Julie Reeder. She votes for Teddy Long, and Joey votes for Mr. Cooper. Ken Mulroney votes for Michael. He has to have amazing inner strength and a strong belief in God to forgive. Yeah, I would concur. Actress Ramona Howard, I vote for Michael. Both men touched me. Julie Hall says, this was brutal trying to decide, by the thinnest of margin, my vote goes to Michael Cooper. So Michael gets another vote. Close. Yes, I agree with you. Close. All right. Julie Cabanis votes for Michael Cooper. All right, guys and gals. This is getting very, very close. Two of our wild card voters already voted for Michael, so that's another 2 points for Michael. All right, guys and gals. Brian Burr says, I'm voting for Michael Cooper. Seriously, man, thank you for touching my heart. Thank you for your comments. Round 3, Mr. Cooper, says Gus Anselmo. Okay. All right, guys. Howard says, I'm going for Mr. Cooper. But, man, both men really shared their hearts. I believe it's 39 at this point, 43-39. And John makes it 40. It's 43-40 right now, guys. 43-40. Mr. Cooper, guys and gals, has 40. Mr. Long has 43. And we are the ones who have won at the end of the day because their presence has been a present. Their presence is a present. All right, guys, we have another for Mr. Cooper. This is from Holly. So I believe Mr. Cooper now has, and Michael Elkins also votes for Mr. Cooper. Guys, it's 43-43. You're seeing all the votes over here. You know, with the exception of the last few weeks, for about 50 straight weeks, there weren't any ties, but let's see what happens now. We are officially tied at 43. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and a 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Guys and gals and pals, it's a big deal because it's a tournament. 67 luminaries from all walks of life. Michael Cooper and Teddy Long have both moved on to the second round of the TCAN Celebrity.
Congratulations, Teddy.
Congratulations to you too, man. Thank you, player.
Have both moved on to round number 2, and it's going to take a while so they can sit back, relax for a few months. You know, we'll come back during scheduling, of course, that works for both gentlemen. They are both in round number 2. Before I put Teddy Long in the back for one moment, Mr. Long, for one moment, Mr. Cooper, anything you'd like to let Mr. Teddy Long know before you and I have a quick conversation as well?
Well, Teddy, first of all, it's a pleasure meeting you, man. I just see the inspiration of God in you. I remember you when you wrestled and stuff like that. So I was a big fan, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, hey, man, it's an honor meeting you, too. Avi asked me, did I know you? I said, what do you mean, do I know him? This guy's a legend, right? So it's an honor to meet you, too, man, and, to hear your stories and for us to be able to share our stories together, because a lot of people that are listening here tonight, they don't know, how we really live. They don't really know what you really go through. And so to be able to share that. And I wanted to say this before I go to Avi. For people out there saying I can't get off drugs or I can't get off alcohol, I'm gonna make it real simple for you. This right here, if this was a bottle of alcohol, if I don't turn that up to my mouth and put it in me, it does not get there. So quit blaming everybody and become the reality and know it is you. It is you that are putting that into your body, nobody else. So all you got to do is just say, hey, I want to live. God, just work with me. That's what I did, and he's been working with me ever since.
Hey, Teddy, if it is to be, it's up to me. Another quote for you.
And this is a little joke I always use too, Michael. They said we all going to get that call, so I cut my phone off.
Get an eternal busy signal. Mr. Long, I'll bring you back momentarily in a quick second, my friend. I want to talk, guys. I'll bring Teddy up one moment because I want to talk about what he's got coming up. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. Mr. Cooper, you do as well, my good friend. You've got a great podcast. Can you talk about that for a moment?
Well, it's called Showtime with Coop, insightful BS with my Laker teammates and NBA legends, and we just talk about everything. I mean, we've covered everything. I've had Dr. J, Matt, Kareem, Isaiah. I've had some of the best top NBA players, and we just continue to go. We talk about current things that are going on, but we share those old stories, especially with the Celtics.
I love that. Where can people take a listen to that, Michael?
At any podcast, however you get your podcast, anyone. So we're on there. But I know you'll help me out, Avi.
I will 100%, guys and gals. And we're going to talk about this because it's actually a really entertaining listen. You feel like you're in the living room, which is great. That's the great conversations that Mr. Cooper has. Michael, I got to ask you a question. You've done a lot of these. Did you have a good time, my friend?
I had a wonderful time, Avi. This is, you know what? You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about, man, and the gift of gab you have. Like I told you, it's almost like you're Chick Hearn reincarnated, but you're great, my friend. Wonderful, wonderful, great. Love this show. I love the guest that I was with, Teddy Long. I'm glad we couldn't get, sad we couldn't get Michaal on because it would have been nice to hear with him. But this is fun, man. I didn't know what to expect, and I'm a man of spontaneity. Whatever happens at the moment, I'm all in.
Well, man, I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. You are class personified, and you are definitely blessing us with your presence tonight as a human being. A legendary human being, guys and gals. First and foremost, a legendary player, and guys and gals and pals, a man who's given us his presence, which is a present. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in round number 2 soon.
Thank you, Avi. And I also want to say this. You must be shopping in the back of my closet with your jacket. I love that jacket, man.
I got to send it to you.
Loved it, Avi. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Mr. Cooper, guys and gals. I want to bring in Mr. Long as well. Man, Mr. Long, I can't compete with your Blazers. You had the greatest Blazers in the world.
Hey, man, I just really want to know this. Is eargasm a word?
It is now. Man, Teddy, you again done a ton of these. Did you have fun tonight, my good friend?
Yes, I did, man. I really enjoyed every minute of it, man. And thank you so much for having me. And I'm just happy that I made it to the next round.
You are, and there's something coming up though, in case people want to see Teddy Long, guys and gals. Something coming up in Detroit. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Detroit on December the 26th at the Hockey Town Cafe, and that's going to be over on Warren Street in Detroit, Michigan. I'll be over there for a big meet and greet from 3 until 6 p.m. And also, they could listen to my podcast along with Matt Davis. It's called Road Trip After Hours, and you can find us on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast from. And also, you can go to my Twitter. It's at Teddy Player Long, and also Facebook is teddylong.com.
TeddyLong.com, guys and gals. And remember, when you listen to this great podcast, Team Mac Davis Teddy and Mac have great chemistry, and Mac's a superhuman being as well. It's really entertaining. It's a lot of fun. It's really positive, and you get more of Teddy Long, which is always a good thing. I do have to tell you this as well. Both of our very good friends, Mark Henry, guys and gals, who's in the second round, he comes in here and judges a lot of these matchups. What happens if Teddy Long and Mark Henry are in round number 2?
Well, I think that one's going to be too close to call.
I love it. My friend, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing your heart and soul and mind with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, man, and I'll be happy whenever I can come back.
Mr. Teddy Long, thank you. Good night, sir.
Thank you, player.
Man, oh, man, what a night. Guys, I'm going to turn it over to JW, and I can talk a little bit here. Thank you so much, Holly. Ken, guys, we're not done yet. We're not done. We want to show you some really cool videos. You love those video packages? We got one coming up actually in a few minutes regarding some of the other celebrities that are still hanging around here in the Second Chance Bowl. JW, speaking of Second Chance, I'm going to let you go real quick, guys and gals. JW is going to go real quick, but we're going to make this really fast. What a conversation between Michael and Teddy. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how does it feel to have Teddy Long call you a player?
I can now officially wear this blazer with pride.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, and I got it. How does it feel to know that you're also resonating with people that are giving you the right body language as a man who's dissecting and going deep and explaining things thoroughly? Because I tell this to the world publicly right now. You look at these views, and guys, thank you for YouTube right now. 2.1 thousand subscribers as of today on our YouTube channel. We couldn't have done it without all of you guys and gals. It takes people years. We got 2.1 thousand after a few months because of you and JW. That's why I want to bring this up in front of our large audience. You are easily one of the smartest human beings that I know. But the thing that I love about you is you don't beat people over the head with it. So was it nice to see that even though we watched two competitors try to win this thing, we also were able to learn from two human beings that were giving each other respect?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's also like this was like the epitome of like friendly competition.
Right.
And there's a sense like when the two of them were going back and forth, like they were giving their answers, and you can tell the other one actually their answer resonated with the other person. Like they were both able to draw something from the other one's answers and their experience. I mean, when both of them were talking, it was almost like there was a point where I felt like we were basically having a conversation with the same guy.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they really stand for a lot of the same, they have the same principles,
Yeah.
the same values. Yeah. And so do you. Guys, JW's gotta head out here. But what I want to say this, I want to invite you back Wednesday and Saturday when you have time as well. I want to talk about what this man is doing here, guys and gals. This man is reviewing and previewing some of your favorite shows on his channel, and I love it. I love listening to it because you're there alone. And as we talked about earlier, you and I have known each other for close to 15 years now.
Yeah.
Almost 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And the things I miss the most are, do you remember those 8, 9 a.m. phone calls where you were on the subway heading to work? And man, we're talking about all these different, now essentially you're taking that and you're doing it solo.
Yeah.
Is that something that you prefer these days? Do you still find it to be a challenge doing everything solo?
Well, you know, in the beginning, it was challenging because, like you said, like I was so used to having conversations with you and having conversations like with other people, like my brother or like other friends. And when I decided to start my YouTube channel where I was reviewing like television shows and movies, it was weird because I was so used to talking to other people. I didn't know how to have those conversations by myself, you know. And then somebody, like a friend of mine, he told me, he said, listen, when you turn the camera on, he said, it's just you and the camera in the room. He said, but if you were reviewing a television show, he said, if I came to you and I said to you, hey, tell me about this show, what would you say to me? and whatever you would say to me, that's what you say to the camera. And it's like I'm in a groove now, like to where it almost feels weird when I actually have a guest come on and I share the review. It's like actually weird having someone to talk to now because I'm so used to doing it solo now.
Man, but you do it so well, and I do feel like I'm in that living room with you again. And this comes from a guy who's had a lot of conversations with you. Yeah. So for it to still feel and be presented as natural as it is, kudos to you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
Hey, Howard, he's got to go, man. Whatever, man. I don't think, JW texts me here. And guys, if you're noticing JW's demeanor changing a bit, it's because we've a bit just about had it over here. Howard, this isn't the place.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights, not Saturday nights, are the place for what you're trying to bring to the table. Just make it quick. He's got to go.
Yeah, is that Johnny? John, is that Johnny come lately? Johnny,
why are you applauding him?
Nice little judging there, JW. Okay, I'll give you that, but could you just get out of here now, please?
I mean, I was about to go. Like, there was no reason to come in.
You already heard he's going to leave, so
yeah,
you're going to take credit for him leaving right now, Howard?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I know. It would be nice if he just leaves now at this moment. Okay?
JW, is there a way you can kind of tell Howard something that might resonate with him for a while? Your call. Anything.
I mean, aside from trying to be a spotlight hog, I mean, in the spirit of December, because I do have things to do. And like I said, Avi, I appreciate you once again allowing me to come onto this platform that you've created and built. Howard, Merry Christmas.
I don't trust any word he says.
He said Merry Christmas.
Awesome.
He literally told you Merry Christmas.
That's nice.
It's a start. It's a start.
It's a start.
We don't do that anymore on Saturday nights. We don't do any of that nonsense. What we do on Saturday nights is have stimulating conversations. And Howard, I'm going to throw you right into the mix. Why not throw you with your good old buddy, John Red? How about that? John watched this. Let's bring in Joe Rositano as well. And then soon we'll bring in Giselle. We'll bring everybody else. Guys, JW, again, give this man a lot of love because I'm sitting back there listening to him judging going, I hope now that he's in the second chance bowl and he's got to win that bracket, but I hope I don't have to face JW in round number 2. I mean, God almighty, you haven't seen the best of this man over here. I have to ask JW JW, can I ask you this question real quick on air? Let me get Howard out of here for a second. Real quick. If you make it to round number 2, now that you're in the second chance bowl, real quick, is there some sort of score to be settled with the Courtney Gaines? We know about Howard, but Courtney Gaines, it went down to the wire. Is that someone you would want to face in the second round?
I mean, it's not that he's someone I want to face. It's not a matter of facing anyone particular. I mean, there is so much great talent in this celebrity tournament. I mean, honestly, like Howard's not even on my radar or something. Like there are so many other people that have actual talent that I would like to face in this tournament. Like he's not even on like the radar for that. But no, I don't.
Howard also second rounder, did really well, advanced to round 2 as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. But I mean, I don't, like I said, there are so many people where I was just like, wow, like like even in this one, like I would have loved to have been in the conversation with with Teddy Long and Michael Cooper. Like I would have loved to have spoken with Play, from Kid and Play. So I said it's at the point now where my
would
goal
it be a little sweeter to draw randomly a Courtney Gaines.
Well, of course, to go up against the person who you felt you should have beaten the first time, there's always a slight, there's always like that personal redemption. But like I said, if the matchup happens to be that way, then it's going to be my opportunity to right the wrongs from the previous. But if not, I'm just going to try my best to steamroll whoever's in my way.
Love that answer, guys. JW, Merry Christmas, my friend. We'll talk tomorrow.
You too, Avi. I'll talk to you always.
JW, guys and gals, a smart, incredible human being. Howard Collado, as I bring you in. Howard, look, we had a great time. I'm going to bring in Joe and John like I promised. And then Giselle. Guys, we're not going anywhere. I might even cut off Howard and John as they're speaking and Joe and to play a quick video to remind you, this is a new channel that we're showing you. I'm happy to show this. This is an exclusive. So although you don't see much of this, you will be seeing a lot of it in the future. Guys, I'm going to share the screen here. This is called Millions. Yes, it is. It's called Millions. I've been talking about this platform and now showing the platform. Why not? This is yet another platform of ours called Millions. You'll be seeing merch. You'll be seeing us going live. You'll be seeing the numbers increasing on Millions as well. And you might have seen the word Millions on one of the recent flyers on my post in the bottom. It said millions. More about millions soon, but this is another platform of the new networks. Are you excited about that, Mr. Collado?
Wow.
Millions.
That's you feel like $1 million watching that whole beautiful display, and you kind of just going into the details of all that. That is breathtaking. That is amazing. The numbers that also you were just iterating about the views on YouTube. I mean, wow. I can't. We're blessed. I mean, that's
we're blessed.
We're
blessed. And our third participant texts me, guys and gals. Again, had tech issues. Was on. His first name is Michael. He was on before the show started. Yeah, Joe. He was on before the show started, and he was rapping with me and Michael Cooper, and of course Teddy Long. He'll be back because he had tech issues. He'll be back, and man, it was during the video intro because up until then everything was fine. He will be back, guys and gals and pals. But right now, Michael Cooper, and maybe it's fitting because it should have been a triple threat match anyway. Teddy Long and Michael Cooper are in round number 2. Let's transition into this, John. You're a sports fan. You remember Michael Cooper, Coop de Loop, Mr. Laker legend, Magic Johnson to Michael Cooper, Showtime era Lakers. Do you feel, John, and I'll ask Howard and Joe this question too, but starting with John, do you feel like either Michael Cooper or Houston's own Teddy Long as well is a contender in this tournament? Do you feel, based on what you watched tonight, that either man could also possibly go all the way? John, Red, and why?
Sure. Look, the way that they brought their arguments, I mean, it was impressive. It might be one of the most impressive displays of the arguments that I've seen. Both of them tying it to personal, and I know Michael was talking about the forgiveness aspect of what happened with his brother, and I know all too well about that. I mean, it was a great job by both, and we say this every week: judging ain't easy, and they proved it again tonight.
Yeah. To quickly piggyback off of that, John Red, I think that first argument was kind of just an amazing display of, first of all, breaking down what that quote meant for him, right? Kind of deconstructing it and giving us context of what the quote actually implied, and then connecting it to his own personal journey, his own personal story. Those two strokes right there are not easy, and he made it look pretty flawless. And so I think that's what makes him very, very powerful contender.
For sure.
Joe,
I mean, both these men got to go into not just the personalization, but they also gave us valuable life advice. Like, for instance, with Teddy, you make your happiness for yourself. Nobody else makes that for you. But also to another end as well, similarly, Michael was able to tell us about, like, you have to start like the morning right. You have to be right. And I like that both these men were able to mesh on certain subjects together. And that's what made this a very special night, is the cohesion.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to judging, it's like one of the big issues when it's one thing to judge facts, and if someone's bringing but when they put their personal, when it's basically what happened to them and what they've gone through, and they make that part of the argument, it really makes your job as a judge that much harder.
I agree.
And I think if you guys were privy to the conversation before we went live with our third participant, man, there was that extra ingredient, which I think we'll get as well. But guys, speaking of extra, we like extra. So why not remind you, and after this video, I'll bring Giselle in. I'll bring Mindy and Julie as well after this. We'll rotate it out. But John and Howard and Joe will be on screen as they witness and watch a bit of a compilation video that really describes and puts into perspective yet another layer of this tournament. We call it the Second Chance Bowl. It will only be available after this very first round is over. We will not offer it again. A Second Chance Bowl consists of your votes, my votes, Howard, Joe, John, all the green roomers will be voting every couple of Wednesdays on the Black Box, on Joe Rositano's page, right here, this man, on Joe Rositano's page, and soon to be, guys and gals, home of Blurring of the Lines. That means that the Black Box will be airing Wednesdays, not just on my page and Joe's page, but it will be airing on YouTube and everywhere else. We'll talk about our talk shows in a minute. But guys and gals, the Second Chance Bowl. Those of you who've been on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Joe Rizart's page know exactly what we're talking about. JW, who was with us earlier, and Truly Julie were voted into the Second Chance Bowl. This past Wednesday, Scott Winters was voted into the Second Chance Bowl. That means that there will be nine other talents, green rumors or celebrities, who will be voted back into the Second Chance Bowl. Who are some of these contenders? Who are some of these legends and luminaries who can be voted back by all of you? Remember, once they get voted back, they're not just in the second round. They've got to win another bracket. It's a two-step process. You have to be voted back. You have to be of the 12. There's been over 30 people eliminated. You have to be of the 12 that gets voted back. And if you're part of that 12, you get split up into 4 separate brackets. And of those 4 brackets, 8 men or women will advance to the second round. 2 out of 3 in each bracket will advance. That means 12 people, 8 people moving on. 8 out of 12. Odds are very slim for many. But guys, who are the many? Who are the many you could be voting for? The next time you can be voting, guys and gals, will take place on a Wednesday as well. It'll be the last Wednesday of 2023. It will be on December 27th. On Joe Resart's page, you'll be voting for one more green rumor or luminary back into the Second Chance Bowl. In case you want us to refresh your memory, take a look at this. Are you here to win this whole thing, right?
Morrison, maybe.
Yes, I'm here to win the whole thing.
Going.
Man, I don't get in the ring for losing, man. I'm like in the ring right now.
Morrison.
Every kid had that at that age. And I had one on the back of my door. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to be a boxer forever, but politically and everything else, he was doing what he had to do.
Morrison!
We all want to win, right? Also, when I got older, my mother and I used to wrap presents, and she taught me how to harmonize.
Put your head on my shoulder.
You know, winning is really important. But you know what's even greater is inspiring. And bro, that's what you do with this show. He was tired of just the lack of humanity. He has had it. He said, Hanson, if I would have gone to Japan, you wouldn't be here.
Prize is pretty darn good too. And right as Charles goes to drink the bottle of the liquor, there's that something.
If you are convicted of murdering someone who drives a Prius, send some kids to Greece. But the beginning of Sounds of Silence just hits me on such a gut level.
God, I love that. What do you think, Mayor?
You bastard!
If I'm lucky enough to win, I'll turn it back into the pool. Woman was from the French-German border, and she knew where that kind of language led.
Everybody has some pride. But it also gives people, and young men and women a chance to go out there and learn discipline.
It's clear that the Iraq War was about oil.
To eat shit.
To suck it up. If that's what it takes to find areas of common interest.
You're here to win this whole tournament.
Oh, absolutely! I'm here to kill it. I'm here to kill it. The rhythm of the song starts right away, and you get that cowbell going at the beginning.
Now, at first, baseball tried to sort of gloss over it, not really do anything.
You want to win this entire thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to win this entire thing. I don't like losing.
No, there you go, telling me what to do.
Because in a lot of cases, you may be a role model, but the media is definitely looking to tear you down. They'll look to try to make you look.
Yes, I'm going to win it all, man. And I finally became that guy, and her prayers were answered.
It's the pride. It's always about the pride. An appointed position to an elected position. Let's just keep it the way it's been.
Eric, are you here as well to win this entire shebang, the whole thing, Pride in the Prize?
I have one line for you, buddy. I want to win it all. Control, I believe, is an illusion. If you look through a certain lens, all that appears a sea of pain.
Wasn't it to win it, Avi?
If she wanted a man, she'd reach out and take him.
What our job is as an artist, if I use being an artist as an example, we look at the local osmosis around us, and our job as an artist is to regurgitate what it is that we see.
I call you a jabroni. Not only am I calling you a jabroni, but you ought to be damn lucky I don't bust through this computer and come there and show you what kind of jabroni you are.
So in the shared trauma of these two individuals, Batman losing his parents, Robin losing their parents, they form a beautiful bond.
That indeed it is. Trash can.
You're here for the Pride in the Prize and winning the whole thing as well.
Yes, I am. And no matter who wins here, you can ride on the back of my pink Hardy. You can be bitch on my bike. Realize that the one and only thing that you would trade every red cent you had for is more life.
Avi, I am here to go for the gusto. Nature within the NFL and on that line, but then to go outside of that.
Pinocchio Joe, would you concur?
Absolutely. Pride and Prize. $13,000 trick for 2 degrees. I believe it was 9. He started dissecting and mutilating animals.
Crowd to hysteria if it happens, that's for sure. Taylor.
Right, I'm ready for you, Eddie. I'm ready for you, brother. And you too, Tim.
Yes.
My best friend is Greek. Peter Mataroukis. We've been planning to go to Greece for a long time. It's going to happen now. They go hand in hand. Jim just made the point that Jimmy Hoffa is the greatest story, disappearance.
And have to want to win this thing. The world is so polarized more than ever.
Listen, anytime there's a challenge, I'm here. He showed that how we should live our lives. And so I thought that for the time, it was a great story.
Second Chance Bowl.
That's some talent in there, or what? I mean, that could be a tournament in of itself with some of the incredible talents we saw there, guys and gals, representing, of course, this tournament. Jarrell, despite Howard the Grinch, another great show, Avi. Thank you, JW, there. Guys, JW, you saw him on top of that flyer. This is a man. JW is a man that can go far in this thing. There's no doubt that he will get a chance, and so will truly Julian Scott winners. But I want to ask our viewers, guys, some of you have questions that you can ask the Green Roomers pretty soon, and you will. But I do want to ask the panel, based on that video, did that influence maybe your votes, your decisions? With, this isn't official. You could change your mind. Who really impressed you? Maybe there were some sound bites you forgot about. Maybe there were some moments you forgot about. And maybe, just maybe, that video kind of refreshed your memory a little bit. Who in that video do you think, based on what you saw, reminded you of how talented, how dedicated, and how potentially victorious they can be in this whole thing?
Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins, says Joe.
Automatically.
We'll break that down in a moment, John.
Hey, look, I something I noticed when we were talking on Wednesday after everything was said and done. I was reminded that Rock Richards lost to a comeback. I mean, he was doing really well, and then I believe it was Jason London that had that heartfelt.
Yeah.
And he basically came from last to win the whole thing, and Rock Richards was kind of a victim of that. I mean, he won fair and square, but I remember Rock, he gave some very, very good arguments and did a very good job.
Rock Richards says, John Red, Howard Collado.
Yeah, I forgot. Brian Taylor had some really strong rebuttals, and he was going up against Eddie Johnson, of course, and Jim Brunzell, and believe me, those two were not at all sleeping on their job that day. They were both bringing it, and he was able to really take both of them on. And I had forgotten that he had really strong rebuttals in that competition. So let's say Brian Taylor.
All right, Brian Taylor. I'm going to bring in Mindy and Giselle and see what they thought here. So, guys, Howard and Joe and John will be back with us to talk about what they're up to here in 2024 when it comes to the talk shows that they host oh so well. Let's bring in Mindy Red. All right, Mindy. Let's bring in Giselle. Mindy and Giselle. First question I have for both of you is, what did you think of that incredible match between Michael Cooper and Teddy Long?
It was very honest and open and heartfelt. And I love how willing they are and how many of our competitors are to share their stories and their ambitions and how they got to where they are today, what they've overcome, what challenges they faced, how they overcame those challenges, and how they want to continue on that path and help others who might be in the same position.
Mindy?
Tonight was, every week's powerful. But tonight I loved the fact, again, like Giselle said, they put their heart into tonight. Not saying the others didn't, but they gave us their personal experiences, and they talked about, what I loved is they talked about their purpose that God had put them both in, and how they have found their purpose, in how God still has them here on this earth when multiple things could have happened in their lives.
Share their heart and faith with us for sure, Mindy. They definitely did. But what did you think of their probability? That's the word I want to use here because it's so hard. There's so many factors, right? What matchup will take place? What topics will be available to some of these competitors that they have to make cases for? There's a lot of intangibles here. I get all that. That being said, let's be very direct. Teddy Long, Michael Cooper, are these both men, based on what you saw tonight, that can go very far?
I think Teddy Long can go very, very far. Both of them could. Teddy is first of all, he has the voice. He has the voice to, you feel it in your soul when he is speaking. Like, he was meant for radio. He was meant for the mic. And
he was a DJ. Mindy, he was a DJ.
Yes, exactly. He was a DJ.
Yeah,
and so depending on the
impressed James Brown. You know that.
Yeah. James Brown. Yes. Yeah. I could see him going very far. I could see him getting down to the top 4.
I could see them both getting far, and I agree with you. I'm going to throw over to Giselle and see what her thoughts are in a second. But with Michael Cooper as well, Teddy is absolutely incredible because, yes, you want to listen to what this man has to say.
Yes.
There are very few people in this world that can captivate you and capture your attention just based on the sweet nectar that emanates from their voice. I'm one of them. But another one is Teddy Long. The third is Michael Cooper because you see the passion all over his face. You see him going deep. You see him trying to just pull things out and organize his thoughts in such a way where they're very coherent, very passionate. Two men that I'm glad we're on together. And once again, guys, we brought this up. Two men that have never crossed paths. And what happened? It turned into the Breakfast Club. That's what this thing is all about. We have living room conversations. Now winning this tournament means you can win a tournament that represents everything that's good in society. You could be a champion and be proud of hoisting that trophy, saying, I want a tournament that stands for something, Giselle?
You can. I very much enjoyed tonight's match. I think Teddy Long can go far. I think he wasn't sure what to expect during the first topic, but after he was warmed up, he was really into it. He figured it out. He knew how to bring his points across, how to organize his thoughts clearly so that he could resonate with all of us. He brought in the facts and the personal experience with him. So I think Teddy Long has a real shot at this. And Michael Cooper was a joy. It was very interesting to me in the first topic that they chose people from the same era, from the same time, trying to achieve the same objectives and goals, but going about it in different ways. And sticking by their beliefs, and the questions they want to ask them are so powerful and so interesting, and I think questions we all want to know the answers to. So that was a really great meeting of the minds and figuring out why I chose this person over that person when I could talk to all of them. So great job with the topics, Avi.
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna discuss these for the rest of the week with my friends and family because they're so. All of them are thought-provoking. I know we always do thought-provoking questions as the third topic, but all of them lead to so many thoughts, more questions that can be answered, more enlightening wisdom coming from our brain.
No, we really are. We're soaking it all up. I feel like it's a very entertaining classroom where we're sitting in front of our favorite teachers that we either wish we had or did have years ago. Kayla says, it's always an amazing show. I love Saturdays. We're going to read your comments, guys, as well.
Thank you, Kayla.
Going good, says Kenyan Pride. What's going good? Tell us what's going good. Be more detailed. Patrick says, trying to pull this up, bromance was ignited between them two, says Zach. And we all benefited from that, didn't we? We all benefited from that. What a great match, John says. Guys, share us your thoughts. Soon we're going to ask your questions. Where's Chad? I don't see Chad here. I don't see Julie here. Teddy's a natural debater. Appreciate that. Yes. All right. Michael, everybody's so amazing.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. So truthful.
Yes.
He's a mysterious one.
Who?
Trying to see if
one?
there's some more Chad comments that I missed. Chad, where are you, buddy? Where's Julie Hall? There we go. Such great topics.
Yes.
I agree with Giselle. Says Renato Valdivia. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Renato.
He's a beast. Incredible in this tournament. I love those points. Thank you so much for that, Michael. Appreciate that.
And they're different every week. We've had, Avi, do you know the exact number? We've had over 150.
154.
154 different topics for even going way, way back before this all started last December when we had a germ of an idea. Oh, thank you, Jester. And it blossomed into this celebrity tournament that we see now. So 154 different topics in the celebrity tournament alone.
Yeah, tomorrow. Guys, tomorrow. So what happened was on December 12th or 13th, 2022, a year ago, I had sat down and realized that the Lake Series, which of course now will be blurring of the lines on Wednesdays, we do a lot, but the Lake Series finale had just taken place. And as we were about to traverse and perhaps maybe even get ready for Lake Season 2, we were kind of having a couple of special shows, little improv specials, and I told myself, yeah, these improv shows are great, but they're not working. I'm going to be very honest. And it's not working because of one person, two people, three people. It just wasn't working. So I sat down on the review show with Risitano, and we were talking, and an idea came to me that night. I said, let's see where this goes. And, of course, it was called the Grand Debate Tournament. Now it's called the Celebrity Grand Tournament. And the idea was to make sure that there are topics being presented onto all of the competitors that they weren't normally used to answering or doing information on. And that's how it evolved. And the first celebrity we saw was on December 31st, New Year's Eve, speaking of Risitano, Michael Winslow. Joe was incredible that night against Michael Winslow. And then from that week on, every week there were surprises. You know, a lot of the celebrity talents we'd seen in the original tournament, and they have their own talk shows. And you might have assumed they're coming back, and they did. But then there were these new names you kept seeing. You know, where did they come from? Where did this person come from? And now when you look at that flyer, you're looking at 67 Hall of Famers. You're looking at 67 Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Golden Globe, Emmy winners. Somebody had the odd comment the other day somewhere, and they had mentioned something about me. And I'll mention this really quickly live. Man, if I ever make things about myself, I don't want to meet a shallow person. That's all I'll say to that, because I don't try to make things about me, guys and gals. I'll make it about Mindy. I'll make it about Giselle. You watch this show, I'll make it about the celebrities. It ain't about me. I want to make sure that every single person over here feels exactly the way they should, which is special, which is a person who has a purpose to fulfill. Every person over here, guys and gals, and that's what the tournament is. The tournament is all about you guys letting us know who you're voting for, putting your hand down and saying, this person resonated with me and why. We all come together. We all come together on this special night. Round number 1 will continue. Christmas Eve, if you watch the outro, which you should soon, you're going to get a sneak peek as to the next 3 competitors, because we have 3 next Saturday. Then we have a colossal show on the 30th. And then we still have round 1 on January 6th, 13th, and nobody's complaining. And if they are, guess what, guys and gals? Just give them a box of Kleenexes. They're not sponsoring us. They could take that out in editing. Give them a box of old Kleenex, and they could cry to their heart's content, because we're loving what we're doing here every single Saturday night. Inspiring, motivating. You're hearing the celebrities. You're hearing the new platforms. 2.1 thousand subscribers on YouTube. That means that we're resonating with everybody. We are making a difference here. This celebrity tournament is much more than the pride and the prize and the cash and grease, guys and gals. It's about peace. It's about understanding. It's about making sure that we listen and learn. And guys, have a great time as well. That's what Saturday night's all about here in this place called the Green Room. So with that being said, I'm going to have Giselle and Mindy go backstage for a moment. We'll talk to them soon about some of their shows that they're going to delve into. I want to bring in Julie, because she's in the Second Chance Bowl right now. Truly, Julie, you were sitting back there and watching that. Did you feel in a way fortunate that you weren't in that video package, because you and JW and Scott Winters are already going to be in those brackets? You'll already be competing, that's for sure.
Do I feel fortunate that I was not in the...
Yes, in that video package, because you're already competing. You're in a bracket, Julie.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get another chance to get into the tournament. Definitely. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm watching and I'm seeing how everybody else gets excited, and that gets me jazzed up. And I can't help but use that as a motivator to get into that. So, like, for me, I want to get into the video package.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great motivator, right?
It's a great motivator. And guys, speaking of motivation again, truly, Julie, you will be seeing her competing again. Michael Gross, I agree with Giselle. So happy to be here. Guys, you get your questions ready for our Green Room cast, because we will be talking about their talk shows and celebrity talk shows on YouTube starting the new year, where you could watch it for free. But let's just delve into this for a moment, guys and gals and pals. Let's delve into a moment that we always appreciate, because we want to hear your voices. We want to see your faces. And we'll be doing so in about 2 seconds with Chad's top 5. So let's bring in Howard Collado and Joe. Let's bring in John. And let's bring in Mindy. And let's bring in Giselle. Guys and gals and pals.
Yes.
Let's bring in a video package. What top 5 topics? What topics will Chad delve into tonight? We'll find out right now, guys and gals. This, once again, is Chad's top 5.
My man.
Yeah, let's go, Chad.
All right. I love Chad stuff. So I'm very excited about it.
Hey, everybody. Top 5 with the top 5. One more time. Tonight's going to be my top 5 who have the kryptonite that I think may take them out in round 2 if they were to face them. Well, my number 5, let's say it's Mr. Jerry Lucas, and I believe that Mr. Bill Eadie will be the one, if he has a chance, to take him out in round number 2. It should be a great one if it happens. Number 4, I'd love to say Mark Henry and Mr. B. Brian Blair would be his kryptonite. They're both great at debates, and Mr. Brian Blair could just give him the sting. Number 3, my man Avi Klein. I think Mr. Eddie Johnson, if anybody faces Avi in round 2, Eddie will be the man that takes out Avi. Number 2, Jesse the Body, his kryptonite, Mr. Jake the Snake Roberts, who just might DDT him out of the tournament if they face each other in round number 2. My number 1 pick, and yes, I think Mr. JBL will win this whole tournament, but if he has kryptonite, I believe it's going to be Canada's own And no, it's not Pete Sharpie. Sorry, Pete. But Mr. Jacques Rougeau. I believe, Jacques, you can take him out in round 2. If this does happen, let's go Canada. We're heading to the top. Anyways, everybody, I hope you enjoyed my top 5 tonight as much as I like giving it to you guys every Saturday night. Love you guys and see you next Saturday night.
Oh my God.
I think Jacques Rougeau is a very strong competitor, and he totally won me over when he was on with his. I mean, he could talk all night, and he even said he wanted to talk all night and never want to leave. I mean, he's up there for me as well. As soon as I seen him, I'm like, you think and then each week gets stronger and stronger, and you're like, oh, wait a minute,
It changes.
it changes.
It does. It changes every week. Every person comes in. Voting gets harder and harder every week. Jacques Rougeau, he's also in my top
with
4.
Another top
Oh, wait,
5
we
video.
have more.
Now, I had a weird dream last night that an alien had bit my arm, and it made my arm hurt. So I woke up and I had an idea. What are the top 5 mystery celebrities that I would like to see on the show?
Oh.
Well,
Nice.
Let's see. Steve Guttenberg, Chris Elliott, Peter McNichol, Bette Midler, and let's go with Dax Shepard. Those are my picks for the most realistic, most likely, and most visualized people that I see appearing on the show. Anyways, love the surprises. Love to see who shows up. It's only getting bigger and better from there. And I can't wait to enjoy it all with every one of you. Anyways, see you all Saturday night. Oh, wait. It is Saturday night. If you're watching this. Let's see. Have fun.
That was very interesting. Dax Shepard would be a blast.
Dax Shepard would be really fun. I would literally pass out if Bette Midler was on here.
Peter McNichol, I like that he mentioned that because I feel like Avi is going to laugh a lot and play lots of beaten clips if that happens. So that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
I just want to point out the production value of both Gus and Chad's segments have just increased this week. Awesome. Awesome to both of you guys. I just got to say, awesome job.
Fred Ottman, Tugboat Tycoon, the Shockmaster, the B.A.D.D. Big Steel Man, coming at you live from the Paradise Gym. I'm in between a set right now, but I just wanted to put this word out there to everybody watching. What about this great event, the Grand Debate? People are coming from near and far. Okay, different countries, different places, doing different things. Athletes, mega movie stars, television stars, multitudes and multitudes. They come to do what? To do battle, to do mental battle with one another. It's amazing. Man, it makes me just get so crazy. I get so excited watching this and listening to them. Okay? Oh, once you're hooked. You're hooked. And the people watching this happen live every Saturday night. Okay? Get increasingly larger and larger and larger. As the word gets out to fans, to patrons of this, and to the players of this. Everybody wants to be a part and wants to play with the big boys. Okay, they come prepared. Mentally, physically. I love it. It's making me salivate with anticipation. all I can tell you is, all you people watching out there and have the ability also to be intertwined with this great event in the green room, the grand debate. And there even is another round coming up as people who lost in the first round have the chance to redeem themselves. I like it. They're hungry, but how hungry are they? And the thing is, from this battle, it reminds me of when I was young. Things have changed, but when you got into fights in grade school, junior high, high school, okay, and when everything was done, friendships were made, bonds were made, lifelong bonds in most cases. So stay tuned and enjoy what you are about to see, because I know that I will. Excellent.
Nice.
Speaking of powerful voices, Fred's he has me fired up. I love it. And his voice just resonates so well.
It is not Saturday night without a Fred video. And he played up the drama. He played up the laughs. He knows exactly what he is doing, and I am into it every single week.
Hey, Fred, listen, let's not sleep on Fred, who's a second rounder as well. Was in part of the first triple threat matchup. So, in essence, one of the pioneers of the triple threats. The first time that went down took place on April 22nd. It was a matchup between Fred Ottman, Hauser Odalock, and, of course, the third man was Gerald Briscoe, who called Odalock jabroni, and then of course later on apologized and said, man, you're no jabroni. Gerald did advance, Fred advanced. I like Fred's chances to go far. He calls himself the master of useless knowledge, but you know what, he's a very intelligent human being, very experienced in the green room, so he definitely knows a lot of the day-to-day that goes on as a part of it. So Fred, guys and gals, to me is a contender. But you know what else, if this wasn't enough, if this TCAN celebrity tournament wasn't enough, if this wasn't a main course that was befitting royalty, we have more, and they're not just hors d'oeuvres. They're a second helping. Talk shows. What are these talk shows you keep hearing about? You know, people call podcasts. I don't like the word podcasts. I told you, it sounds like an alien casting call or an alien sex party. But listen, at the end of the day, we have talk shows. But the talk shows we have allow you to get to know the human beings before you and the celebrities, because we have 70-plus talk shows. Recently, Mark Henry announced Lifting the Curtain with Mark Henry and Avi Klein. Magnum TA and I announced the next chapter with Mr. Magnum TA, very inspirational human being and friend. Core Nemec, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Jason London is Burning, along with his brother Jeremy, who has his own show as well. Eddie Johnson, The Motivating Factor. All of these shows have recently been announced. They're part of 70 shows that already exist on the network. And the network itself, guys and gals, will be amazingly redone pretty soon, which we love. Already on YouTube, again, 2.1 thousand subscribers. We're proud of that. That means all of you, again, are enjoying the content over there. It's not just a retreat. You're getting some original content there as well. And you will be getting exclusive content on YouTube when our very own talk shows, co-hosted by 70 luminaries and green roomers, will be debuting on YouTube in the new year. That means all you have to do is sign up to YouTube, subscribe, watch it for free when Julie goes live with me, watch it for free when Giselle and I go live, John Red, and you'll be seeing mixtures of combinations of talents. You might be seeing, again, John hosting with an NFL legend. You might see Julie hosting with an NFL legend, Joe with a voiceover extraordinaire. The list goes on and on. You're going to be seeing different pairings. So there'll be special guest co-hosts. It'll be amazing, and you'll be part of the conversation. Watching for free on YouTube. The schedule for those shows will be announced in the new year. Of course, this is the home on Saturday night for the celebrity tournament. So there's a lot going on. And since there's a lot going on, I want to make sure that John, Giselle, Joe, Howard, Mindy, if they want to express themselves by commenting, feel free. But Julie, I want to keep you on over here for a second because there's a video I want to play and react to a little bit. Let's explain this right after the video is off screen, guys and gals. This is truly Julie.
Hey guys, happy Saturday. I am
spending some much needed time with my mother today. We are going to go shopping. It's the Christmas holiday time, and we put so much work and passion and everything into what you're going to watch shortly here, our show, which we take much pride in, and we're happy that you're here. And yeah, part of my life is loving the Buffalo Bills, which I'm sure Avi will make fun of me right now after this, but also spending time with my family who loves me very much and supports me, and I'm very appreciative for them. They are the gift in my life. Love you all. Enjoy the show, and can't wait to see you.
Well, we're going to go live with Truly Julie. We're not going to, guys and gals, I apologize for the error that was made by the lady to my right by bringing up a very taboo and unacceptable topic, otherwise known as the Buffalo Bills. That will not be presented live on Truly Julie, much to her chagrin. That being said, though, Miss Truly Julie, we are going to talk about a lot of other facets. You brought up family as well. Family is such a very important thing. It's the holiday season, of course. We're going to talk about family as well on Truly Julie, aren't we?
We absolutely are. Yes, of course we are. Yeah, family is very important to me. My immediate family, my TKN family is very important to me. And I have a daughter. Well, I have a daughter and a son and stepkids and such. But my daughter has special needs, and so she is very important to me and keeps me very busy and on my toes 24 hours a day, pretty much. So yeah, it was nice to get away today, and my mom and I went to lunch and did a little bit of shopping, and it was a nice getaway, and it was a beautiful day here in Arizona. So
why don't we explain the questions? People are asking me, what are these questions that some of our faithful, the engine that makes this thing go, are going to be asking? What did I announce last week regarding questions regarding our viewers and all of you as well? Can you break that down?
Yeah, so I'm really super excited about this because the viewers, you guys, the engine, the thing that makes this thing go and makes us who we are going to have the opportunity to present your questions, everything you ever want to know about anything, TKN, Green Room, about us personally. You are going to come up with your topics, your own personal topics, questions for the Green Roomers. And guess what? We are not going to know what they are before we get on air. So we are going to be completely surprised and ready to go, hopefully.
So why don't we do that, guys? It'll be sort of like musical chairs. As I put Julie back, you can start thinking of topics you want to ask Julie when I bring her up again in about maybe 5-10 minutes. And then we'll talk to Mindy right now, and we'll rotate it out. So think of questions you want to ask Julie. Think of a topic that you want Julie right now to delve into. She's not privy to whatever topic it'll be, but she will show you, as will these co-hosts. That's the objective I have. They're going to show you that they can handle any topic on the fly, spontaneously, and they will not shortchange you or themselves. So with that, Julie will be backstage. I want to see your comments. And the topic I think is best to get into will be the one I select. Julie will delve into it in about 10 minutes. So start commenting right now. What topic would you like Julie to talk about tonight? Julie, I'll bring you back momentarily.
Okay.
Guys and gals, let's bring in Mindy as well. Like I said, I would. Mindy, again, a fascinating night. It's great to be able to talk to such great minds, but it's also great to change minds when it comes to minds that need to be changed, like mine, and mind needs to be changed. My mind needed to be changed way back when, and it did, because as I alluded to last week, you were the one who reminded me that I was, without saying it, because you're not judgmental, I, 3 years back, was a distracted driver. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know that I can't treat my car like a living room, and of course, you can't. The word accident doesn't exist. You taught me that as well, guys. We make our choices. Teddy Long brought that up too. Take accountability. We have choices to make, right? Guys and gals, Mindy, changing minds, holiday season. A special message from Mindy as it pertains to the holiday season, because yes, there's pomp and circumstance and festivities and fun, and we want everyone to enjoy themselves, but there's a but, and we'll delve into that right here.
I just want to say a couple of quick reminders. It is the week of Christmas. It's the holidays. The next 2 weeks, a lot of people are getting together. They're having gatherings, Christmas parties, and all of those great things. What I'm asking people to do, think before you drink. As you're getting prepared for the gathering, you're getting your Christmas gifts together, you're thinking of what foods you want to bring, plan a sober way home. Call a cab, call an Uber, designate a sober driver. This is the person that's not had anything to drink. Get that ride prepared now before you go out. Do not be the reason that on this holiday time of year that someone is receiving a phone call that they have lost a spouse, a child, a family member, or a friend. Think before you drink, and if you are hosting a gathering, please make sure your people that are at your gathering have a safe ride home. Make good choices this holiday season.
Totally concur.
Thank you, Avi. I want to ask you a question. When I brought up to you about, distracted driving and impaired driving, what are some simple things that you did to change what you were doing when you drove, when you get behind the wheel?
Be alert and not assume that because of my driving skills or experience that someone else on the road is as alert as I am. It's an ego thing. I'll admit that. We all have it. It's an ego thing. You always think that you're king of the road. You always think that you're fine and you're going to be okay and that you could do this with eyes closed, and you can't. And it takes to know what you taught me to know that I was one of many people that was not driving the way I should have, because again, I'll be the first to say that. And ever since then, it's what you've taught me since then. Ever since then, I realized that point A to point B is what this car is all about. Sometimes our cars are escape. We want to listen to music. We want to feel like we're by ourselves because for whatever reason, maybe the world can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. So we need our private space. But the car, in my opinion, based on what you taught me, the car isn't such a private space. The car is a space that we also share with other people because they're on the road with us. We're guests on that road. We're guests. We're not hosts. That road doesn't belong to me. I don't own that road. I'm a guest just like everybody else is. And I want to make sure that as a guest, I treat that road safely. I treat other guests politely. And the best way to do that is to not be distracted. Exactly.
One of the things that I learned is, it's you got that cell phone. Maybe you're trying to mess with your navigation or, a quick phone call. Because even sometimes that hands-free is not always as hands-free because it pulls your eyes away. And in a split second, if you're going 55, 60 miles an hour down a road, that's the length of a football field in a very short amount of time.
That's a good point.
A lot can happen. A car can be slowing down in front of you. Boom, you've just rear-ended a car. I always tell
Thank
people—
you, Kim. Nice message from Kim. Amazing message, Mindy. Hope this reaches many people. She's very inspiring. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. So are you. We appreciate that. Thank you for that comment.
Yes,
man, oh man, I gotta love the love that you're receiving, because once again, learning more about your mission helped me become a better person, because it means that we are valuing life around us much more. It's the things we don't think about, right? It's like, again, I'm such a proficient driver. I excel on the road. But in the holiday season, as you brought up, there are many things that happen. Statistically speaking, we all know that people do get behind the wheel, especially when there's a lot of events and parties and gatherings, like you mentioned. What do you do and how do you do it? What do you say to people, especially during the holiday season? How do you say it? And what's the reaction you usually get?
I try to remind people, first of all, it's not about the drinking. I don't care if you want to go to a gathering and have one drink or multiple, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. What is the issue is the choices you make when it's time to leave. How do you plan to get home? Are you going to call an Uber? Are you going to call a friend? Are you going to tell, maybe if you were at a home or something, can I sleep here tonight? Because the big issue is, which I've learned over the years, it's not the ones that are walking out the door that are sloppy and staggering and slurring their words and smell like a distillery. It's the ones that thought they were fine. Avi, it's people like me and you that have good jobs and, are loving, caring people that think, I wasn't wanting to hurt anybody, but they do, because any little thing can happen. The lady that killed my daughter had just bought her car that day.
With a blink of an eye.
With a blink of an eye. And there were so many factors. She was twice the legal limit. but there was a car in front of her, and in her inebriated mind, that's the problem, is your mind does not see the present as the reality that you are in. It sees things distorted. And in her mind, the car was stopping and going, stopping and going. So she's going to go away from them. Well, she accelerates and loses control. And it can happen to any of us in a split second. This is why it is so important to know there are ways to get home. You can call somebody. And look, I tell everybody, I have a van that holds 7 other people. I'll be glad to drive 7 drunk people home all over town. It would be fun for me. I might get some good video if I'm pulled over to the side of the road and have some fun with it later. But they get home safe. And even if it's one of those things that you're scared, so maybe you're underage and you've been drinking. There was a story in the news today where a 17-year-old killed a person driving drunk. And you've had those drinks because you're out with your friends. Don't be scared to call your parents or a youth leader or a teacher or somebody. Let them be mad at you, but you're going to get home safe and you're not going to hurt anyone or yourself. And that's
it's one of those things I wish we didn't have to experience. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of times people champion a mission or a cause they believe in because they experienced something that happened to them. We're here, like Mindy's here and John. They're both here, the Reds, trying to let you know you don't have to experience something like that. You don't have to go through something in order to experience it. Listen. It's as simple as that, because these are real stories. Michelle, I know her name, and John was eloquent and sweet enough to share her story with us last Saturday, and I still wish I didn't know her name if someone didn't make a foolish decision and choice that they made. I'd rather trade that, you know what I mean, as much as I love the Reds, because of someone's stupid decision. So
right.
Mindy, guys and gals, please ask her any question you'd like as well. Remember, I'm going to pull up your questions for Julie. I'll ask one. It's fun. Every Saturday, I'll pick one of your topics or questions. We'll ask that. Mindy, I'll put you back, and we'll get to your question as well. Thank you, Johnny McKinney. Appreciate that. I want to bring in John Red for a moment, guys and gals, from Mindy Red to John Red. John, yeah, thank you for sharing Michelle's story last week with us, man.
Yes, sir. You know, it's not always an easy conversation to have, and sometimes your emotions get the best of you. You know, things, even though you in your head you know what you're going to say, but your heart, you know, sometimes gets in the way of those words. But you know, when I talk about Michelle and I talk about the things to do to avoid being in this horrible club that I'm in, it's all from the heart. You know, if I can stop one person from making the horrible decision to get behind the wheel drunk, and they don't end up killing someone that night, then my daughter didn't die in vain. And so, you know, that's the only way that I can keep her memory alive.
Well, what I like is that, you know, there's a lot of alternatives, because, you know, we're not going to tell people how to live their lives and how to party. We are going to let them know that you could be affecting someone we know. So we are going to take it personally. Of course, Absolutely. It is our business, right? We share this globe together. But the other thing that maybe is an alternative is, hey, it's the holiday season. Why don't we just do something at home? Why don't we just sit down, have some good drinks at home, watch the TKN Celebrity Tournament, watch Howard get chastised by JW, right. Which is, I think JW might be sleeping a bit on Howard. Howard's a damn good competitor too. But there's so many things we can do here, but we could also enjoy some good old-fashioned grub. We can enjoy some food. And guys and gals, who better to sit beside and learn from than the master chef himself, John Red, because it's all about family, it's all about food, and it's all about fun. The 3 F's right there: family, food, and fun. Guys and gals, this is John Red. That's beautiful, man. That's your son.
Yes, he's been away. He's home for the holidays and he was joined the Marines. He came to me about a year ago and said, "Dad, I've made my decision. I'm going to be a Marine." And I was like, "Wow," you know what I mean? Because we always said the Marines are the toughest of the tough, and I said, "You sure you want to do that?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And so he did all his research, and at the end of the day, he knows what he's doing. He's happy about it. He's been doing great. He actually told me he was promoted to squad leader before he came home. So that was kind of what we were talking about there, and one of the ways that, we talk about cooking with purpose on my show and TLC, Tender Love and Care. And part of that is a labor of love for your family. I grew up being in the kitchen with my grandmother, having a conversation just like that. And I can see myself through his eyes of what I used to do when I was a kid and I was a young adult, is sit there, you talk to my grandmother while she was in the kitchen, as she's cooking, we're holding a conversation, having a good time. And, it feels good when your kids come home and they say, "Dad, you remember you used to make that kibasi? Can you make that for me?" And, it makes me feel good, but, that's what cooking with purpose is about.
Kayla's hungry.
Absolutely.
I love what that is, because it brings family together, guys and gals. And I love that, because any excuse to have it's time with people you love, again, sometimes they might annoy you and drive you nuts, but during the holiday season, I like that food can bring people together. In the Klein household, food will bring you together, but the conversations might tear you apart. I'll tell you that. That could happen, because although we don't do politics and religion here, in the Klein household, oh my gosh, the politics was all. And you know what? But a lot of people here have seen the show already. Dakota says he's hungry. There really isn't a dish that you can't cook, but if you had a go-to, if you're trying to maybe impress a gathering of guests that, like, I'm coming there for the first time, or Howard or Giselle or Joe, anyone from the green room, Julie, we're all sitting there. What would you prepare for us, like as a first time kind of a meal for us?
Well, I got two different things that I'm really that I feel like that the way I do them is unique. First thing is my cheese enchiladas. I use a different kind of cheese called a Munster cheese. I'm sure you've heard of Munster cheese, but not a lot of people have had it in enchiladas. And the good thing about Munster cheese is it doesn't melt real. So when you're eating your enchiladas, it's not just where you don't, the cheese is melted in with the enchilada. So you follow that up with some chili gravy on top. And, my sister-in-law makes the best Spanish rice. So normally I'll invite them and have her bring the rice. She can do that a lot better than me. The other thing is that I love Chinese food. And so I've done.
Well, you're turning the viewers away. They're getting hungry right now. They're not going to be able to type and comment. No, guys, you could do both, multitask. I know John Red is selling you with his amazing delights, but man, there's so many. You were saying something else that you could cook. Go ahead, John.
No, I was saying that I love Chinese food, and so I perfected the art of doing this orange chicken dish with I make my own fried rice. And fried rice is one of those things that sounds easy, but as long as you do it in the right order, man, it comes out really well. I remember one time.
What's deceptively difficult though? Is there a dish that's deceptively difficult to make or cook?
I mean, I think that the probably the one that I would screw up more than when I made etouffee, because and gumbo as well, because if you screw up either one of those dishes, you do it early and you don't know it until you've eaten. Until everyone else is eating,
or until after you've eaten, right? Yeah.
I mean, my grandmother used to say it's all in the roux. Well, the problem with that is that roux is the first thing you do, and so you mess up the roux and it's all over.
Gotcha. Let's pull up some comments over here. Tamales are not easy, says Andrew Red III.
No, they're doing those tonight as we speak.
That sounds good right now. Yeah, says Tracy. I can hear Bobby Hill saying that food name. LOL. Rice is hard for me, says Mindy. More comments here. Wow, fried rice, says Ramon. Kayla likes it. Phil says cooking with your heart. All right. Love that home cooked meal, says Mr. Benson. All right there. Love orange chicken. John, says Lester Cook. Let me know when dinner is ready. Sure he will. Lester. Lester Cook, from one cook to another. Michael Gross says, John, please thank your son. Yes, for a service in our country. Thank you so much, John Jr. I love orange chicken, and we believe you because it's in caps, so we have to. Thank you, Michael Elkins. We will believe you.
That's good stuff, man.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. There goes the tummy. Absolutely there, actress Ramona Howard. Okay. Just had Spanish rice. Southern folks love food. Hungry. Makes a great sandwich, says Andrew Red. Yeah, guys, you're loving this. So why don't we ask John Red a question? Could be a topic. You'll get to know more about him and more about his own talk show. And remember, guys, what you saw earlier, 67 Hall of Famers. John, it is insane. What started out as a germ of an idea that I developed overnight. When I want to tell everybody this, I never thought I'd be playing the role of Jerry Maguire. I've known a lot of these luminaries. I've either written for them, I know them, my agent knows them, blah, 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 blah. We've heard it. But the reason why I bring that up is because this is not industry standard. I mean, to see on average 3 celebrities, 67 total Hall of Famers, Oscar, Emmy, Tony, Golden Globe, it's unheard of. And you're seeing it here on Facebook and YouTube. 2.1K subscribers on our YouTube channel now, guys and gals, after only a few months is great. But man, oh man, it's still the sweat that goes on behind the scenes. You know that, man. There's so much being done to get just one singular episode here. And here we are, 168 consecutive episodes. 67 luminaries in this tournament. John's in round 2 as well. John, do you get geared up? I mean, you're a guy that always likes to cook, but it ain't too hard to feel that heat in the kitchen when you see that talent that we have in front of us.
No, man, I tell you, and the thing is, Avi, what people don't realize is it's not just you fielding phone calls and getting people in and everything, but it's you pairing the perfect people together for the perfect storm and the personalities meshing. I mean, who would have thought that Peter Melman would have been so good with the Nasty Boys? I mean, and you know, in your head, you probably knew it was going to be great, you know, but Peter Melman himself probably didn't even know that. No. And you know, I'll tell you what they're talking about. You know, who they'd love to see. There would be no one that would. I mean, I would be like to see them, but I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, there's nobody that is out of the realm of possibility, and it could be anyone. And even you said, you know, you're having to turn people away. I mean, people want to come. How did you get them, Avi? How did you get them? How do they get on? Because people are lining up.
They're here. Yeah, they're lining up now. Tamara Presley, great show. Thank you. Guys, again, what we stand for here is more than just celebrity talent, pride in the prize, edutainment. Yeah, the winner of this whole tournament wins $13,000 a trip for 2 to Greece. Fanned out that money a few months ago. Actually, it was close to a year ago where I fanned that cash out. Crazy. But beyond that, what I want to have people understand is that this is sort of morphed into a living room style conversation where through these topics, and they'll always be different, I promise you that, we learn more about each other. So winning this tournament means, yeah, of course you want to be able to resonate with the masses and get those votes. But at the end of the day, you're going to come out a winner regardless because you're going to learn a thing or two about a thing or two. And that's what matters at the end of the day. The Celebrity Tournament, guys and gals, exclusively brought to you here by TKN. It's not even our first year of this network. We're really proud of what we're doing. Thank you, Chantel, with that comment. We're trying our best to make sure that instead of touching people and changing their lives, we're simply listening to you guys. And maybe that could be the change, is listening. John, there's some questions for you. So I want to put you in the back as well and bring you back and see what topic the viewers have for you, my friend.
Sounds good.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that, I want to bring in Giselle right now. Let's bring in Giselle and talk a bit about what she does. Before we do, though, Giselle, listening is key. And you're also learning about your fellow, I guess, family members here. That's what we become here. It's fun to learn more about a John Red, a Mindy Red, a Julie. Even though you think you know them and their plight and their story, there's so many layers for us to be able to unpack. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is. I love seeing all their passions, what really makes up who they are, because a lot of times we describe who we are by what we do. And I do that all the time because being a storyteller is integral to my entire being. I don't know what else I would do if I couldn't do all of this. If I couldn't do the green room every Saturday, if I couldn't go out and work on shows and choreograph and tell stories and have paper knife, I really have no idea. And people ask me, what else would you do? What else would you do? Are you ever going to give it up? No! I have absolutely no reason to, because it's so deep within my soul. And a lot of my hobbies and interests center around what my profession becomes. So it appears that I'm this one-sided line when really we're all very multi-dimensional.
Yes.
Julie is a wonderful mother, but she's so much more than that. She was a person before she was a mom and had that mom identity. And we get to see Julie as Julie, and Julie as mom, and Julie as the Bills fan, and all of these sides of her together so often. And we get to see Mindy fight, and we get to see John cook and tell us why he loves cooking and how that helps him care for his family. And what
I feel
that
like our interests are the backdrop, right? So it's the backdrop. It's the backdrop, just like your backdrop right now. It says paper knife.
It does.
We know that you excel as a teacher. We know that you excel in stage combat. We know that you excel in the arts and the craft. But the most important thing is you excel as a human being, and that's what we all do. And someone take a look at this if we're backstage. I know some of you see that number over there. We're doing great here on YouTube Live now, aren't we? What's that number say? Does anybody see what that number says on YouTube? What are we doing on YouTube right now? Huh?
Anyone?
If anybody sees it, type in private chat so I can bring you up here. I see a number over here right now. I see a number I'm looking at right now as we are live here with the new network on YouTube. If somebody sees it, type it in private chat. You're on StreamYard.
For the viewers or the subscribers?
Oh, yeah. No, this is for our viewers right now, guys and
Yeah.
gals. What we're doing here live. Do you see it? Does anybody see it?
Oh, I see it. I see it in private chat now.
Okay, Julie, what number? I'll bring you up here. Julie,
yes,
you can join us. Julie, what number do you see there?
So, very exciting number, actually. So it's 2,145 subscribers as of today. So,
and triple that are watching now as well, guys, on YouTube.
Whoa.
So again, our YouTube Live is insane.
as far as the live,
Thank you so much, Chad. We appreciate that. Does anybody see that number? Lester Cook.
That is the subscribers.
Who's Giselle sees that? What number do you see, Giselle?
Oh, 6,119 are watching.
6,119 are
Yeah,
watching,
so
guys.
that's
6,000. The numbers
watching.
are increasing. We appreciate that, guys and gals. Again, thank you to all of you. Thank you to Wealth Garden Entertainment. Thank you to Mr. Charles, Mr. Chad, and the great team that we have here. Guys, we're doing some awesome things. The numbers are only a part of it, but what we love is that the numbers back up the story. They back everything up that we do over here. Julie, guys and gals, is going to be back here momentarily again. And remember, we have a great outro that is new. It's brand new. We promised it last week. There's a brand new one this week. It's going to be amazing. But Giselle, equally as amazing is another side of you that not many have seen, which they shall be seeing right now.
And I'm Mackenzie Grace, and we are doing a scene from Once Upon a Time.
Awesome.
Mindy. Aw, thank you, Michael.
Do you want to take notes? No.
Well, well, well. Isn't this my lucky day? I had come here to kill Emma. But now I get to kill the idiot who started it all. You deserve to die, Mary Margaret. You took my first true love from me. Please, Regina, let's be reasonable. You're out of the Snow Queen spell. Where was I? Gonna use your magic, Regina? Afraid to get your hands dirty? I don't need magic to kill you. Magic is too good for you. I want to watch you bleed.
Let's put some of that into proper context, Giselle.
All right. So
Incredible.
that was my single sword renewal this past Sunday. I have been working closely with Jacqueline Holloway of Arte Violenta. She's been mentoring and teaching me in stage combat and how to be a better choreographer and instructor and impart the knowledge I have to others. And as part of the Society of American Fight Directors, they ask us all to renew our skills every 3 years. And I was already current in this weapon. I didn't necessarily need to renew at this point, but doing so allows me more flexibility for some of the other weapons and training that I may need in the future. So we had our skills proficiency tests. If you're testing for the first time, it's a test. If you're testing again, it's a renewal on last Sunday, December 10th. And Jacqueline choreographed for us based on our scenes, which was really fun because a lot of times when you're in a class like this, you'll get one fight, and then you have to work that into a scene. It's a little bit backward than doing it for a production where you have the script, you know the story, you know who's going to be which character, so you can choreograph best to tell the story, as opposed to learning a fight and then kind of working it into the
And
script.
the intent of the character at that moment is also a driving force of how that scene should be choreographed.
Yes. And even when we're doing a test fight, intention drives everything. Intention makes the story clear. Intention keeps you on target. We have certain targets on our bodies to keep us safe. We have offline targets and online targets, depending on if you're cutting or thrusting. There's a little bit more to that, but that's the basics of it. And if you're off target or way off target, then your scene partner might miss the next piece of choreography, and that's not going to keep them safe either. So you really want to be able to connect with your scene partner, and you really want to drive that intention. I'm going for there. I want your arm. I want your leg. I want to slash your head. I want to cut your head off. Context Facebook. I promise it's all for stage. So we have to impart that in a safe way and tell the story with our bodies, because there is, in films especially, there isn't a lot of dialogue in fight scenes. So we're using our bodies, we're using our props to tell these stories. But what makes a character want to fight? What makes a person want to fight? If you've ever heard in musical theater, they start singing because speaking isn't enough. It's the same with theatrical staged violence. You start fighting because words are no longer enough. Words aren't getting through. You don't know what else to do. You resort to that violent tendency, which normally we are able to better keep in check. And this is what we do here. A lot of times you're doing the scene multiple times a week, which is why the safety factors are so important. And also, a hurt actor is an out-of-work actor or storyteller. So you don't want to hurt yourself.
So what you're saying is you were trying to slash Julie when you were debating her in April, but thought against it. Right? Is that what it was?
Maybe something like that. No, not at all. Julie,
you told me that was your tactic. If it went to a fourth overtime, you would have busted out the swords.
We did go to a fourth overtime. I guess we went to a second overtime. We had 4 topics.
Yeah, if it would have went on another overtime, you would have busted out the swords. And then, Julie, what would you have done if Giselle is now busting out a sword and challenging you to a duel? Guys, this is what Giselle does. Again, this is interesting to learn about because a lot of us behind the scenes know. Now, so do you as well. Ask a question or a topic to Giselle. Let's keep her on screen and let's get Howard over here. Let's get everybody up here if we can.
Yes.
All right, John.
Hey, John.
Let's get, if the green roomers send us, so the rest send us some videos next week. They can be on here as well. We'll talk about them and their topics. So John is on here. Giselle is on here. Joe's making faces behind the scenes. Not sure why. Let's bring in Julie. Let's bring in Mindy. All righty. So, guys, hopefully you formulated some questions to Giselle, John, Julie, and Mindy. Let's scroll up here. Let's see some questions or topics you have for them. It'll be a lightning round type deal where they will get into it as fast as they can. This thing is bothering me.
Hey, Avi, I have
blur
a
lines. I still need to let the hair down.
The
What's
hair's
that,
coming
John?
down.
I was
Hair's
a question as I was watching Giselle with that. How sharp are those instruments y'all have? Are those? Do you have to be careful, or are those dulled?
No, they're definitely dull and blunt. That's another one of the safety measures. If they were sharp, we would definitely be hurt. Now, you can still get scratched with them. I've had a few bruises and scrapes in the learning process, but they are dulled. A lot of the sword I was using in that particular video was a single sword. It's not really a historically accurate sword. It was made for film. It was made for the big swashbuckling films of Errol Flynn, Basil Rathbone, Tyrone Power. So it's more of a cinematic take to recognize, hey, this is a sword fight. And generally it's a kind of a foil or épée blade with a saber hilt, but it's recognizable as, this is a sword. I can do something with this. And makes for dramatic scenes, looks shiny on camera, looks shiny on stage, looks flashy, and then you get into a whole stylistic avenue of how each of these disciplines work.
You really want to stab someone tonight, don't you, Giselle?
I did wear my knife set.
Yeah,
So.
you look like you're dressed for the occasion. Guys, this is a question for Julie. Michael Elkins, there we go. We'll start taking your topics or questions.
All right.
Julie, what is the best piece of advice someone ever gave you? Best piece of advice someone ever gave you, from Michael to Julie.
Yeah, that's actually a really great question, Michael, and thank you for watching tonight. And one of the best pieces of advice that someone ever gave me is, and it still sticks with me, it's a saying, and it's really relevant to a lot of things in life, but procrastination is the grave in which opportunity is buried. And I love this saying because really it just means get up every day and do your best and don't procrastinate on things, because it honestly is where opportunity might be overlooked or set to the side, and you never want to live your life with regrets. So do what you can today, because tomorrow is never promised.
That's very true. And as I mentioned earlier, you're right. I mean, look, you can wake up and realize you're the universe. You don't have to reach for the stars. You are the universe. Michael to Julie, great question there.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. No, really, this is meant to hopefully inspire you guys, because there's a lot of people out there who are motivating, but you can motivate yourself. I concur with what Julie said. You wake up in the morning and don't rely on somebody else to motivate you. You don't need a fortune cookie. You don't need somebody to tap you on the back and say, here, watch my TikTok for motivation. Motivate yourself. You can find something in your life that motivates you and drives you. And if you don't, you're either not looking, or guess what? It's not meant to be discovered that day, but that's okay. That's why we have another day. That's why we build. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your intentions won't be created in a day either. So just keep going. You'll find your way. This is a question now. Let's see, for John, Mindy, or Giselle. This is, let's pull this up here, guys. If you have more topics, there were a lot. I have to scroll up to get them. Okay, this is Alex asked Julie, if Julie had been born a different decade, what decade would she choose? What decade? Really quickly, let's spitfire this. What decade would you choose, Julie? From Alex Chumbley.
Oh gosh, I think I would be born in the something fun, like the 60s, where like anything goes, and there wasn't
60s were fun.
I wasn't born then. What are you insinuating, mister? No, but I mean,
it was a lot more. What you're saying is it was a lot more fun because you weren't there. I see what you're saying. I'm catching up. Okay, yeah. I concur. John understands, right?
When I was growing up, they always made the 50s look like they were so much fun and so clean and
oppressive. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see what other questions we have. Come on, guys. Let's see topics.
Come on, send them to us.
Yeah, we want to know about us.
All right. How about this question from Dakota or Michael? Michael asks, Dakota, I see the question, but who's it directed towards? Let me know. Michael Elkins, Mindy, was there an impactful moment in your life that still carries with you today?
Yes. So I had a moment where I was driving to my training. This was 12 years ago, to train for prison ministry. And Satan was all in my head telling me I was no good. I was, I would never be able to offer anything to these people. I need to turn around. I need to go home. I had my radio turned all the way down so I could hear, all the bad voices very well. And at that moment, a song came on the radio by my favorite artists called Forgiveness. And I heard that song blast over my radio as loud as can be. And again, I had my radio turned down. And I know that was like my burning bush moment. I went on to that training that day, and that still sticks with me as one of the most powerful moments in my entire life.
Thank you for sharing that, guys. Again, we're learning about this amazing Green Room cast and family here. I thought your favorite song was Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise.
Oh,
No?
of course it is. For different reasons, though.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. All right, more questions here, guys. Anything for Giselle or John Red? Let's see. My question is for John. Okay, let's see. I'll pull up Dakota. John, this is for you from Dakota. How do you find the motivation to keep pushing on the hard days?
Well, you know, for about a year after Michelle died, we fed off each other's anger and kind of just went through the motions. And about, you know, we got invited to church, and as we saw the joy in other people, we realized that it was time to let stuff go. And when you let stuff go, you start seeing the blessings all around you, you know. And we have other children, we have other families, and the worst thing that you can do is someone who's been victimized is to draw the drapes and to not make a difference, because at that point, then your loved ones died in vain. You know, what we do every day for Michelle and for other victims is the fuel that keeps you going every day. There are days that you go through where things happen and you're like, man, will we ever be able to make a difference that matters? But you're just Satan getting into your head, because everything you do every day is going to matter for somebody. I heard a story one time where this kid was on the ocean, and there was starfish as far as you could see, starfish everywhere. And he was taking them and he was throwing them in one by one. And an old man came up and said, son, what are you doing? All these starfish, you're not going to be able to save them all. And at that time, he picked one up and threw it in the ocean. He said, yeah, but I just saved that one. And that's all you can do.
I think as someone who lived more than half their life with a strange relationship to time because of what Mindy and John have gone through. Because even as you grow older, sometimes you could be frozen in one place, reliving the same day, trying to make sense of the moments that tore your family apart. And it's through your intention and action to help others that you find your purpose. And I love that, because you have never lost your humanity. You know, Mindy and John, and I tell Mindy this, and John, you too, man. There's no way somebody could dislike you guys. I love John the moment I saw him. I said, I like this guy. And you could just tell. You could tell the heart that you have. And it's a mission, hopefully, that we're not going to brag about, but it's a mission that we're going to hopefully get out there on YouTube Live, because it's free, and that means there are more people that can watch it, and therefore more people that can be saved. Very important question by Dakota Benson. Thank you. Some questions for Giselle. Let's hear what we have here for Giselle, guys and gals and pals, who is a wordsmith and a swordsmith and all kinds of smiths. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully she doesn't like the smiths. I think they're
You can see it all on my TikTok. I've got poetry. I've got sword fighting. What more could you ask for?
It's got it all on TikTok.
A bazooka. I want a bazooka. I want to see you wielding a bazooka. Rambo style.
That might go against all content standards, but we'll see what we can do.
No, bazookas are good. Michael says, Giselle, what is your definition of success? Specifically, what defines your own success in life? From Michael Elkins.
Good question.
Michael, great questions, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I am approaching this from the direction of a storyteller, because it is a very difficult life, especially to get started. And I always said, I don't need to be famous. I need to be able to make a living doing what I love and doing what I have trained in. And that is success. When I can do my best every day, when I can be a professional, when I can love those around me and be kind and thoughtful and have people in my life who care more about me than about my work or my output or my input or my job or this or that. And who genuinely love and want to know more about the world. That is successful. It's to make a difference. And I chose to do that as a storyteller because we all love stories. We return to our favorite books, our favorite movies, our favorite television series, time after time after time, because we find a character we relate to, a situation that feels similar to something we've been through. And I became a storyteller because I want to make people think and feel and laugh. And if I can do that on any given day, that is success.
There are characters that we portray, that we get to know, and we play a lot of them. That means there's more of a chance to open up ourselves to their plight and relate to all of you, because guess what? If your favorite storyteller has played 50, 60 different roles, that means at least 2 or 3 of them resonated with you, and maybe their story and maybe their honesty and truthfulness was able to give you a bit more than you thought, that you bargained for when you watched a movie. Maybe you came in for the movie again, pomp and circumstance, it's fun, it's great, it's all games. Sometimes you're committed to doing so because you're dating someone who forces you to watch Glitter with Mariah Carey, which I'll never watch again in my entire life. It's the scariest horror movie I've ever seen. But I digress. A lot of times you're watching a movie because you do want to get to know the characters and you get to know them. And that's what I mean by honest storytelling. If you're an honest storyteller, you might put yourself in a situation or circumstance that you've never been in before, but who says that you won't in life? Who says you won't encounter that?
Mm-hmm.
It's making sure that these given circumstances and situations are not played honestly. I don't like the word play. You're not playing. You're not playing a circumstance. You're reacting to it. And in life, if you don't react, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? I ask Mindy, John, Julie, and Giselle. When you don't react to a certain situation, what is one of the alternatives?
Well, don't you always react in some sort
No.
of way? I mean, you don't.
No.
Well, not reacting is still reacting. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
Okay.
There is a thing as a blank slate.
Like
There is a
you
thing
can't-
as being numb. When you react to something, when you're reactionary, what do? Do you always have to stand up and be verbal or vocal? No. Or physical? No. When you're reacting to a moment, you're reacting to something either impulsively or logically. When you don't react to the moment, when the alternative of not reacting is simply staying and being. And that's the most beautiful place to be. When you don't react, when you fully absorb and you listen, you're not reacting to anything. If I'm listening to Julie speak right now, and I'm taking what she's saying, and my instinct is to react, not to react verbally, but to react emotionally because she's pulling at my heartstrings, and I choose not to, it's because I have the patience and wherewithal to know that there's more to come. And that's the beauty of storytelling, is when you listen to one another, reacting is not always the first choice you want to make unless it comes from a place of pride. I see a lot of young storytellers who do that. They will react because they feel like they need to. Whether it's a look, an expression, a reaction, right? It goes back to that. Sometimes being and not doing or not reacting is the most powerful and respectful way to show that the people that you work with have earned your respect as storytellers. More of this, guys and gals. We do workshop. It's a lot of fun. Giselle is an incredible student and teacher of the game. Julie, Mindy, and John Red are also incredible during workshops. It's part of the network. And I like what Giselle said. I'm not here trying to get famous either, but you know what? I am here trying to make sure as many people can watch as possible because, like I said, on a Saturday night, in a very cynical day and age that we live in, people can gather around, open up their device, and watch a show. They're not in a studio. They're watching a show in their underwear, in their PJs. How? They're watching a show from the privacy of their own quarters, and they feel like they're a part of something. And I love that because once people start sifting through everything, they realize, man, these are people that have the same sort of struggles that I do. And let this be known before we continue. We have not conquered everything. I don't mean as TKN, I mean as people. We're not supposed to conquer everything. Don't think you have to beat down the door and destroy your obstacles. You're not supposed to. You're actually supposed to sometimes succumb to them, because that is how you learn. And people don't want to hear that part. But defeat is the best learning experience you could possibly gain. Last year, 2023, there have been a lot of learning experiences I personally have dealt with that I had to go through, not around, but through. And if I did not go through them, I would have not learned, and perhaps I wouldn't have been as receptive to new things. So don't be afraid of failure unless you know that failure is going to define you. That's when you should feel failure, when it defines you. 2022 was intense, and 2023 brought even more. I love hanging out with the most amazing people. I learn a lot, a ton in a year, truly. I love this family. We love you too. It was intense, an intense night for sure. More comments, guys. Let's see what we got from the engine.
Bring more questions.
We'll bring in Joe and Howard in a moment.
Thank you.
Where it's at.
Also can't do this without you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. They're all amazing. Guys and gals, you can do this. You can ask questions and topics every single week. All right, guys and gals, again, let's bring in Joe Rositano.
Great.
Let's bring in Howard Collado.
Hi.
Hello.
Guys and gals, thank you for watching. Remember, next Saturday night, Christmas Eve, no problem. On December 23rd, 1 week from tonight, it'll be the 169th episode of The Green Room, consecutive episode of The Green Room. It'll be night number 38 of the TCAN Celebrity Grand Tournament. 3 people scheduled. Wow. Who will they be? You won't know. But via new silhouette flyers distributed all week long, you might get a hint. There will also be hints and clues. And at the very tail end of this video, there'll be some hints as well. Who might they be? We'll find out. Enjoy this outro. A lot of new features, a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, a lot of new scenarios. And if this outro, like we say, doesn't pump you up, I don't know what will. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the Black Box guys, Joe Rositano and myself. I'll have some new announcements as well. Thank you for joining us. Remember, Michael Cooper and Teddy Long are both in round number 2 of this TCAN Celebrity Tournament. And the Second Chance Bowl will continue in 2 weeks as we'll be voting yet another luminary or green roomer back into the competition in the fold. For JW, who's judging, thank you very much. To someone in the back, I'm sorry, but your tech, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's been inconsistent tonight. But guys, the outro again. As I sit back here and make some texts and a couple of calls, the cast is welcome to enjoy the outro, and so are you. And don't fear inspiration, because if you do, you are missing out.
It's beautiful.
I can't wait to see them.
You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about? Is it all you ever think about?
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be.
Is it all you ever think about?
Even if you win, what have you won? Apollo's still gone.
I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game.
Why can't you change your thinking? Everybody else does.
Because I'm a fighter. In my book, we're going to be winners.
You can't win!
Let's face it, it's you against you out there.
Because I'm a fighter. Let's go! Because I'm a fighter. Let me hear it! Because I'm a fighter. Go, 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 go! Because I'm a fighter.
When you walk on that court, you have to think I am the best guy out there. I don't care if LeBron's playing.
I'm the only candidate that spent his entire career literally working in the private sector. Even while I was mayor, I was required to hold a full-time job in the private sector. My 2 opponents, they've been cashing government checks for well over 20 years.
Okay, speaking
A growth of government almost 16%.
And gave $2 billion back in property tax relief.
No,
Jesse.
$1 billion, Skip. But on the flip side, they raised my property value. That's a shell game. Don't come across with me on that.
The point is that
terminate
dictator is out there. Can't be bargained with.
We got chaos throughout the world, and nobody's giving anybody any respect.
It can't be reasoned with.
Don't come across me on that.
Across the entire planet, we need the return of Gort.
It doesn't feel pity
Now you're gonna bring your garbage and war
or remorse
out into space. Well, we're not gonna let that happen.
or fear, and it absolutely will not stop.
Don't come across me on that.
Well, of course I am. I don't do nothing to lose.
Plant fear, and fear will grow. Because if you have a man looking at you, and he has a little fear in his heart, where does that put him? But in the palm of your hand. Because already you have created doubt in his own mind that he has the strength to continue against someone like myself.
And you don't know
To prove to everyone that I work what?
if there's going to be a tomorrow.
You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability.
It's just that cruel moment
And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years.
of when you realize
And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame.
there is no hope.
In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
That tears at me.
And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen.
But it doesn't tear at me anymore. Because there was hope. I don't play. I just win.
I think that when you have kids that are in fragile situations as it is, if
There's another human being, species, which I happen to belong to.
there is some type of mentorship program that is safe and sound and productive for them.
Lift himself. The rest of us sat as human beings up to a better place to be, if only for a minute.
I do think that it's absolutely essential to try and.
Let me tell you, kid, it was pretty goddamn glorious. It ain't the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
To round number 2.
Deflected ball picked up by Ray Berry alone to the basket. A tremendous move away from the ball when Berry's man jumped off. Well, that's the Warriors up by 2. It goes to Berry, who again swings under his.
They fixed 86 games between 1947 and 1950.
When you take that field today, you've got to lay that heart on the line, man.
600 million people, they say, watched the landing on the moon.
If you do that,
and the first steps.
we cannot lose.
Same thing, you don't play for individual awards, you play for team championships, you play about winning.
But he stays in the block. McMahon will take it. Takes it in. Touchdown.
This guy named Jack Ruby comes out of nowhere and shoots him. And then it was just total chaos.
We may be behind on the scoreboard at the end of the game, but if you play like that, we cannot be defeated.
You know, people grabbed Ruby, they got the gun, they hustled him out of the room.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
And Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947.
Nothing is over! Nothing!
Drexler outside, Maloney, Johnson at the buzzer! Eddie Johnson hits at the buzzer to give the Rockets a 95-92 win. It's how well you can talk your way to a job, too. You just don't turn it off.
And when you rhyme, ooh, there's lots of bull. When it comes time to step to a mic, I don't sit around. Play, you know I don't kid around. So come with it, boy. Don't even hide your best. Cause kids spell backwards describes your best. Look around, watch the people clap hands.
Maybe even those people that you lost.
It really don't matter if this guy opens my head here.
If you hear them in your head, they would say the same thing.
All I want to do is go to distance.
They would sacrifice for you.
Do it now or I will kill you. You believe it? 1. This is God's house. Don't make me do this. Please.
Has all the advantages and none of the advantages of kryptonite.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
To round number 2 here. You went here to win the whole thing.
There is no tomorrow.
No, definitely.
There is no tomorrow.
To round number 2.
The money.
Conquer your fear!
Absolutely, I'm going for it all the way.
And I promise you, you'll conquer death!
To round number 2.
Oh yeah, for sure, yo. We don't go out with no losing mentality.
And that, my friends, is called integrity.
We champions at all, yo.
That's called courage.
We put this work in.
Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
When you're in gratitude for your life and for your blessings. I believe love is the greatest power we have to create with. If you want something, love it more.
The only 2 people I want to beat right now is Rick Barry and Eddie Johnson. Now, baby, I'm coming for you. Now, baby, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
You have to take risks.
Your mind.
Come on.
You have to fall down. You have to get hit. You have to get up again. You have to fight.
Do it! Do it!
Accept the risk. That's what makes you control your destiny.
And I'm just looking, and the baby smiles. That is, I think, 10 times more powerful than it might have been 15 years ago, because it's a ray of real light.
I should have said the poet.
In a world of, scrolling and junk.
So beautiful.
And feel more authentic and more important and more visceral than it was before. That's what I have discovered.
So beautiful.
And there are many ways that people try to learn today.
Because of just one plain simple rule. Love thy neighbor.
But if they don't get to that ultimate goal.
In this world today full of hatred, a man who knows that one rule has a great trust.
Which is to know the things that they've been studying so that they can use them.
You know that rule, Mr. Payne, and I loved you for it just as my father did.
Not only to gain the knowledge, but have the ability to use it in a positive way.
And you know that you fight for the lost causes harder than for any others.
That's going to help other people.
And I'm going to stay right here and fight for this lost cause.
That's going to help other people.
Fight for this lost cause.
That's going to help other people.
Fight for this lost cause.
That's going to help other people.
Even if this room gets filled with lies like these.
Somewhere around the 285-pound mark.
I'm going to take it like I won the first ever Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah! He pulled the top rope down.
Stay out of my way. Have board, will travel. Ho!
We listen to a podcast, gentlemen. We are seeking one or 2 things. We're seeking information.
You will not give, I'll take.
Or wanting to be entertained.
And he is my enemy.
Things inside you matured and tears come to your eyes.
Oh, God, no, please.
There's a religious aspect to it.
Some have called him the quarterback of the defense.
Well, the object obviously.
And both these guys
just dragged.
Was that nobody wanted war anymore until Reagan came in 83, decided to pick up public morale and bomb Grenada.
And a lot of it was because of how they were treated when they came home. That's just a point that I feel like was not brought up in that case. So.
And Mark stands corrected because I did not bring that up. But let me just bring up what I did bring up, which led to the effect that Mark brought up, because the cause was the fact that we were watching this war go down.
Be able to eliminate the battles or put them in a different subject matter to where now the kid has to, and Brian has a question.
Brian Taylor is going to rebut right now.
Folks who are tuning into podcasts, if they're not really interested in the podcast, they're not going to listen longer than a minute or two.
Being aware of your consciousness.
Right. Of course there are.
There are advantages of being aware of your consciousness.
Right. And I'm saying, but the advantages of being aware, the question is aware of your consciousness, not what does your consciousness do for you.
Well, in order for it to do something, you have to be aware of it.
I know. Look, I'm saying you're both public speakers. You're both brilliant.
They established that later in films like Black Christmas and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, both coming out in 1974.
Incredible. Is it gonna be this evening? I'm excited for it.
But reverses.
It's gonna be vicious. It's gonna be crazy.
I believe that it's one of the reasons is because it's an all-volunteer army. They may not choose to be in Iraq and Afghanistan, but they chose to be in the army.
That time up here, the goes to the eyes of Buff Bagwell with a
Territorial and global expansion.
I like these odds.
That was the real reason. And in addition to that, there was also a lot of assets that we got out of Vietnam that only now in the last 30 years is being discovered. How about the word drugs?
All the recording's going to do is make a case for something to be taken out of context.
Howard Collada will be rebutting John Red.
But what's going to 99% empirically prove it is going to be video footage.
So these films speak to us in our time of need. They speak to us when we're happy. They bring us back to nostalgia.
You killed my father.
Give us a life that we can live.
Every time I watch the movie, it evokes this strength. And my mind goes back to that time when I was sitting on the couch. And I said I could do anything.
Now time, let out.
I actually love the theater and I love the musical. And I said I could do anything. And I said I could do anything. And I said I could do anything.
Kelly has a rebuttal. Kelly, go ahead.
But my question is, if experience is so great, why do we as humans inundate our lives from birth to death with advice?
We're there in the stadium and you're watching the men and Paul Bosch is egging them on and he's getting the big interviews from them. So you would watch all these wrestlers. There was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, back before it was really gimmicky.
We start becoming a team right now.
You go on past these, the 2000s, you don't have these shows no more.
Want to settle old scores, you're on the wrong team.
The American family kind of separated in the 2000s.
We move forward, starting right now.
The family nucleus was gone.
We start becoming a team right now.
You're no longer sitting in front of a TV watching these amazing shows in the 2000s. Yeah, you had game shows.
Don't quit! Rock Kelly, you don't quit! Keep going! Keep going! No, Rock Kelly, you don't quit on me! No, you keep going! You keep going! No, Rock! Get more! Get up! Son of a bitch! Mickey loves you! Son of a bitch! Mickey loves you! Get up! Get up! Son of a bitch! Mickey loves you! In any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know. Now I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.